Good morning. It is 6 o'clock. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com Sports Desk. Hall of Fame broadcaster Vin Scully, who entertained and informed Dodgers fans in Brooklyn and L.A. for 67 years, died Tuesday night. He is the longest tenured broadcaster with a single team in pro sports history. Vin Scully was 94. San Diego Padres have acquired superstar outfielder Juan Soto and first baseman Josh Bell from the Washington Nationals in exchange for 6 players. That was prior to yesterday's trade deadline in Major League Baseball. The Braves dealt former closer Will Smith to the Houston Astros for right-hander Jake Odorizzi, giving Atlanta a 6th starting pitcher for the final 2 months of the regular season. And the NFL is stripping the Miami Dolphins of its 2023 first-round pick, among other disciplinary measures for violating league policies relating to the integrity of the game. For your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening? Welcome in, J Mart and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. We're lifted up by All Four Seasons Garage Doors in Nashville, allfourseasonsgarages.com. Go there to learn more. Jonathan Schaefer's here, Ramon Foster's here. I'm Jason Martin. At Ramon Foster, at Schaefer on Sports, at J Mart Radio, at J Mart and Ramon.
Beat him.
Buck Reising, Rhett Bryan today. Plenty of Titans on the docket. Inc.
The disrespectful stuff he says in my ear. I told him I beat him right there. He said he was going to beat me like a rag is what he said.
Wow. How do you beat a rag?
That's not actually what I said, but that's actually cleaner than what I said, so we'll go with that.
Could have said rent a mule.
Face looked like a catcher's mitt.
What's going on?
What's going on back
there, pal?
Because I trimmed the goatee. It was a little crooked, so I just started over.
Did you do the situation where you didn't realize you didn't have a guard on that thing? And
no, I had the guard. It just
I
didn't like how it looked, so I just started over.
What did you do? What would you categorize yourself as looking like then?
Not great, Bob.
What are you
right now?
Are you like
now 5 years younger, and I don't even recognize myself.
You do look 5 years. You look like a cartoon.
You look like a Seth MacFarlane
right?
character. That's what I was thinking. You look the same thing. I was like, you look like. You've heard of American Dad? How about American Producer?
He's left his post.
Go get you some Duff. Go get you some Duff beer with Barney and the crew on The Simpsons.
I kicked the door open. Today is the day it ends.
Coffee's here for you too. See, there's cups over here.
Hot Tower's laughing his butt off right now.
I heard you use my line too. Face looks like an ungreased catcher's mitt.
Shaving your entire face is always the worst, man.
I hate when I had to do it. I had to do it one time because I forgot I didn't have a guard on. It was,
no.
Well, guess I got to get rid of that.
Was you doing it with the lights off? Like, was this like an early morning thing?
Yeah, no, it's just sometimes Sometimes, just like Dad said about my math test, I'm careless.
He took all the donuts.
It's fine. I'm helping you. There's 10 munchkins. There's 5 apiece for you two, so you enjoy yourselves.
I wanted 1. Never mind then, right? Dude, they used to make us shave this time of the year in camp and college. Former had this no goatee rule or no facial hair rule you could have.
What are y'all, the Yankees?
Pretty much, man. You want to talk about hating it, Jason? I was the one. Look back and oh my God, the old UT program pictures. I absolutely hated mine because I've always had the pudgy face. Even when I was like super slim in my teen years, always had the pudgy face, right? And I knew that what my chin strap goatee helped like contour my face, right? Like I could hide the pudginess of it. Man, we get to camp and we had to shave. Dog, I absolutely hated it. God, I hated it. Oh, there's nothing worse than that. If I do it now, my kids might run away from home, is what I'm telling you, if I shave my face. That's what Shafe's got going on right now. I don't know who that guy is.
He'll be back in a week and a half.
I don't know who that guy is behind the glass anymore. Smooth like a baby's butt. They're letting you have it. They're letting you have it right now.
I don't care.
Danny said, "Doe."
Kiss my ass.
Hey, man, Edge got the haircut. You look 5-10 years younger Saturday at SummerSlam. Yeah. Some people say now he looks like Diamond Dallas Page from behind.
I can't imagine that being a compliment.
DDP's in great shape, man.
He is in great shape.
And he was moving phenomenal. You know, he's 66.
Get out of here.
He is 66 years old. He was moving great on Sunday. I was thinking to myself, man, I've had DDP Yoga for a while.
Yeah.
I might be in a whole lot better shape, but I'm not as flexible as I want to be in a lot of ways. Maybe I need to mix in some of that. He's at 66 doing that after living a hard life.
Hold up. You say you got DDP Yoga? He does yoga?
Yeah, that's his thing.
I didn't know that.
That's his whole business now.
How you go from that violent of a person to this? Like, this dude was an animal in the ring.
It saved him a ton.
Did it?
It saved a ton of people for a long time. Like Scott Hall, it saved him for years.
Wow.
It saved Jake Roberts. It's a bunch of guys had horror stories where he's been able to kind of use that as part of this wellness thing to get them away from drugs and some of the things that they've had to deal with.
Wowzers, dude. No,
he's
no
good
idea.
people. We had him on the air. He had me do yoga on the air.
I know you lying.
6 years. No, he was like, you got to do this whole deal with your fingers and all, like the way that it's set up.
As long as you weren't holding your feet up in the air.
Nope. I did that one time. Won't be a second.
Whoa, what?
I did it before Slade did it.
Yeah, I remember you doing it over there.
Did it that same day. We both had the same idea, which I don't know if that's a good thing for him or me or neither of us or society as at writ large.
Feet and hands, man. He said it's weird. I remember when this happened, we were discussing. He said it actually released his back. Like it made him feel better. I was like, wow. Did you get like any release out of it, Jay? Yoga references only.
That's pretty good from Guts and Danny of the Borough. You look like Boyle from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You do.
I don't know what that means.
You haven't watched Brooklyn
I've
Nine-Nine?
been meaning to watch
that
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
It's great.
Brooklyn.
It's really good. And Boyle's awesome. He's one of the parts of the state back in the day.
Okay. Yeah, that's one show I've actually been wanting to watch, Jay, is that one.
It's very, very, very
Did they cut it already? Oh, man.
I mean, it's been on for a while.
Yeah, I didn't realize it
The
actually
final
been that
season
long.
just aired,
It was 2021. Okay. Well, they got 8 seasons out of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It lasted a long
How
time.
the heck did
Deservedly so.
It was good.
I mean, it moved to change networks.
I like Andy Samberg.
Yeah, he's pretty good in that show.
I like
He's not.
Andy
I mean, he's good in that show.
He's good in that show.
Andre Brower's the man in that show.
Andre Brower. Who was that?
Homicide, Life on the Street, bunch of things. Men of a Certain Age. He's done a lot of stuff. He's really good.
yeah, I know who
he's
he
done like
is.
Terry Crews, great in that show too.
Yeah, Terry Crews is in it too. Yeah, he
Chelsea
is.
Peretti's
in it.
really
Yeah.
good. Everybody's good. I should stop mentioning the whole cast. They're all great.
Andre Brower.
The show's awesome.
Played in a lot of stuff that I've seen before. Yeah, absolutely, man. Salt. Okay, for sure.
If you like Parks and Rec, gotta watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, what else was he in, man? I feel like
Homicide, Life on the Street, at Men of a Certain Age. He's done a good bit in his career.
of stuff. Yes, he has.
He is one of those dudes that just really talented.
And when you see him, like, I didn't know his name, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, yeah.
He reminds me in some ways of another guy that I've just caught a lot of the stuff he's done is Lance Reddick, who was in The Wire.
Mm-hmm.
He was the chief.
Yeah.
Dating the attorney.
He's good.
He's in Fringe, which is one of my all-time favorite shows.
I saw him recently on a commercial too, man. He's pretty solid, man, in his roles he's played. Okay, all right. Passing glory. I'm looking at this. Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, Brooklyn's tremendous, and it's great at the end of the day if you just want a wind-down show too. But it's very, very well done. It got better as it went along.
Yeah,
but it was good from the beginning.
And it ended when it needed to.
Yeah, I mean, look, you go 8 years, you've probably gone about enough. Most shows don't have 5. Most shows, when you get to 5, they're starting to run out of ideas.
Yeah.
Now it's time for Urkel to go to space. like stuff of that nature.
I still never saw how that one ended.
I think I saw the finale, but I bailed on it. When it changed networks, I bailed. When it left ABC and went to CBS and changed days, I think we all kind of.
That may have been me then right there. What's wild is, I'm a huge Martin Lawrence fan, and I watched Martin religiously growing up. I never saw the ending of that until recently. I saw it. I guess Gina went to California and Martin them basically. Because they weren't talking. Yeah, they literally were not talking. It had some issues. Yeah, I recently just saw the end of that. So yeah, pretty interesting.
I don't know if I ever saw the finale of Martin. I watched it every week for probably 4 years, and then I think it just kind of petered out.
The fifth year was just like a fifth or sixth, just kind of like deaded out because of those issues they had on set. Which, come to find out, she kind of said that she was put up to it. So it was.
How about Racey McMath being the star yesterday at Titans camp?
Yeah. Racey, yeah.
Literally, that's why I said the star of the day on offense. Got behind Christian Fulton, made a sideline catch with Caleb defending him. Diving touchdown catch down the middle of the field in the end zone.
Yeah. I heard Coach Mack talking about it yesterday. I had to take my niece back to West Tennessee yesterday, and I was listening on the ride, and Coach Mack was like, he found out that this was a business. And I was like, what does Coach Mack mean by that? He was like, when he got cut, nobody wanted him, and he had to go back to the team that wanted him. Maybe that woke him up. So for him being a guy that recognizes that early on and kind of takes a step in the right direction, that's good for this team. Considering, like you said, the wide receiver position, like there's been a lot of good stuff come out about Bobby Trees and Traylon Burks, but you need more than just that. I'm still on the NWI train too, but to hear Racey McMath have a good day yesterday says a lot. And it was I stopped by for a second yesterday. It was a young guy emphasis day. And I think the idea was they're about to start playing in these preseason games, so it's those veterans aren't going to play. It's only 3 games now. That's what we're adjusting to. So the way coaches kind of bring the practice routine to the forefront, there was a lot of young guy emphasis. To me, the guy that won today, Jay, from what I saw, Rashad Weaver. The kid is, number one, the longest arms I've seen for the position. Big body dude, man. I talked to him for a second too because he has, he went to Pitt, and I told him we got to get a bet going just so you know that. He was like, it's whatever you want to do. It's like, where do we play it at? And I was like, okay, whatever. But he is a young guy that bent yesterday better than I've seen a big dude like him bend before on the edge. He really got after it yesterday. I thought he had a very solid day yesterday going against the guys on the offensive line. And I was even just impressed by the way he has awareness about what he was doing yesterday. So it was pretty cool. And I'll say this again. Kyle Phillips he can be a weapon. Legitimately be a weapon, man. That guy moves in a particular way that not a lot of guys do, and that is an asset to have on a team that, thrives off of having a real good slot guy and also need more wide receivers. So seeing Racey and Kyle Phillips have good days yesterday is something that's going to be necessary for this team moving forward, man. That's going to be all right. It legitimately is.
615-737-1045. Again, Rhett Bryan, 3rd hour. Buck Reising, 4th hour. And then, of course, his hours right after we're done. Ink at the end of the show. When we come back, you said something about the offensive line right before we went on air. One guy specifically. I'm going to ask you about that when we come back on the other side of this break. It's J. Mart and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. When you found that dream home and you're competing with other buyers to make sure it's your offer that gets selected, it is necessary to have clear financial approval. If you're pre-qualified with a lender before you start that house hunt, that's how you stand out from the crowd. That's going to give you reassurance, but it's going to give the people selling your dream home an extra layer of reassurance. So if you're working with a lender that's not giving you the service you'd like, that needs to change. If it's not transparent, if the communication, you can't get them in touch, if everything feels a little bit too slow, You need to go with that feeling. Sometimes you need to lean in, right? If that's what you're experiencing, you aren't stuck, but you're in danger. So you got to reach out for that second opinion. And as the Southeast's leading mortgage lender, Mortgage Investors Group is here to help you get not just any loan, but the right home loan. Their team of mortgage experts care. They're committed to helping you close on time, structure your loan the best way. They're going to help make sure those home buying goals are a reality. I want you to go to their website this morning, migonline.com. That's migonline.com. Find the office nearest you or text MIG to 31399. That's MIG to 31399 to get pre-qualified. Mortgage Investors Group, the right home loan, equal housing lender, license number 109111. Welcome back, J Mart and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. Third year in a row for my team to lose a receiver for basically the year.
Yeah.
Judy 2 years ago. Last year was KJ Hamler. Now it's Tim Patrick, who led the team in touchdowns last year.
Mm-hmm.
He's the second Bronco to go down with a torn ACL this camp. They lost their fourth-string running back, and then yesterday lost Tim Patrick for the season. And I said to you before this show, go get Odell right now.
You said it. You get him somewhat.
If you don't, Dallas should, because they've got no James Washington for 10 weeks.
Yeah, for a couple months. I couldn't believe he went down. But I know James pretty well. Super explosive athlete. So something like this was I ain't gonna say bound to happen, but you got to be really good as far as managing your body in that type of way, man.
Look, it happens to somebody every year.
It
Absolutely.
does.
I mean, we haven't had a lot of it so far, but you've seen Ryan Jensen go down, and now you've seen Tim Patrick go down. I hope that's the end of the list. I hope nobody else is going to have to deal with that. But I was just kind of like, man, I mean, Denver has a deep receiver room. That's one thing that helps, but he was still expected to be top 3 on the team.
Yeah, man.
And was set to have a really solid year.
I got enlightened to him late last year is kind of when he got, did he get the deal late last year? And I was like, who's this guy? And I look him up like, this guy's been doing work.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's undrafted cat, right, man? And that says a lot for him to have gotten the deal that he did at the time that he got his deal, man. So huge for him, but that sucks for Denver. You're 100% correct. I saw it. I saw the name come by while I was driving. I was like, oh, I think that's the guy Jason was talking about. And lo and behold, it was him. I was like, God, for it to be breaking news, that ought to have let you know how serious that situation was, you know?
Yeah.
God, that's tough.
The Dolphins thing we'll get to. But let's talk about Titans camp first. You were out there again yesterday.
Yeah.
Looks like hopefully I'm going to be out there here the next day or two. Your observations, what you said before the show is what I really wanted to.
Yeah.
Aaron Brewer.
Bigger. He is. I think the website's a little outdated. I saw him yesterday. I was like, okay, he could be around 270, but he looks thicker. And I inquired about it. I was like, no, he actually listed in 290. And I'm asking some harder questions to some folks that have been around. I was like, can he hold it? Is that his weight? Will he drop during the season? Because for guys that have to eat, like there's a bunch of guys that have to eat to stay and maintain that weight. And not just that, they have to be guys that lift. They got to be weight room guys. And we learned this offseason from Vrabel. He was an offseason guy. He put on some mass, and it kind of shows after seeing him yesterday, and I'll give you the situation too. He was rolling with the ones. He was with Tannehill and the guys for the most part. Jim White pretty much documented. Derek got some work early on, and he had the ability to just shut it down for a little bit, and that's what kind of happened yesterday. The idea all around training camp is there's a lot of questions. Well, if you get an opportunity to go there and watch it, you see the actual results of what they are. And Aaron Brewer is very comfortable with the ones right now. Jamarco Jones is still doing work in camp as far as I saw, but I'm judging the two just from what I've heard from guys that's gone against him, been around him, and, know Brewer longer than I have. His attitude is fit for the job if he's holding like 290, 295. His athleticism is one thing that you always bring up, and when a guy is that size, that has to be his mainstay as far as proving why he belongs on that field. That's going to be good for him if he's holding 290 throughout the year, because his will and drive, you watch him at practice, you're like, he's excited. He wants this. He wants to do it. And honestly, he's at that mark in his career to where if he doesn't grab a starting spot right now, it'll be a hard battle upfield to actually get one, because year 3, 4 is when you need to be established. That's when offensive linemen find themselves in a position where, look, I've made myself a starter in this league, or I'm going to end up being a swing guy moving from team to team. And Brewer's at that spot right now. And I know this, Vrabel loves him. You kind of can sense that. You see that. Again, Tannehill pulling him with the starters off to the side was something that was really telling about who was going to be LG. Again, left guard. I saw Jamarco Jones work a little bit yesterday. Naquan had some plays against him. Naquan, by the way, is a hog. You hear me? He is a wild boar while playing D tackle. That guy moves.
His name sounds like he could have been a hog.
No,
that's a Naquan hog.
That's
right
a
there.
Naquan.
Leave that Naquan hog over there.
No, Jay, like he's wild boar about it. Like Naquan was wrecking shop on some of the tools a little bit, and again, I can't brag enough about Rashad Weaver and what he was doing, and I'm talking about the defenders more than the offensive guys, because that's usually how it works a little bit. Ola had a little bit of a dust up yesterday with one of the young offensive linemen. McKenzie is his name, man.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and truthfully, Jalen McKenzie is his name from SC. Everybody's fighting in camp, like for a position, for a livelihood, Jay. Like we speak about the salary cap and all what players are getting. Like if you're just in the show, you get something nice, meaning you make a team. Him and Jalen McKenzie had a little bit of a dust up yesterday, and Ola pretty much had him beat, if I'm being honest about it. And he kind of did a move that even I, as a veteran offensive lineman, had I been on that team, I'd have been like, come on, man, dog, that's your teammate. I know what you're doing, but in Jalen McKenzie's mind, he was like, nah, screw you. You try to get past me, I'm going to bend your back. He kind of bent his back and threw him on the ground. Ola gets up and rushes him. And what's wild is nobody kind of, backed McKenzie up when Ola, went back at his back like that. Ola had all rights to kind of do that. And camp is hard, it's tough, but the safety of your teammates is always the key thing. You're not going to make the team by bending the guy's back and throwing them on the ground. Like, that's not what we're doing here. That's just like if a D tackle beats you to the quarterback, pull up, don't go hit his arm, stay away from him. Let the method of offense kind of work its way out. We know you won the drill, and that's kind of the way I saw it. It was like, well, Ola beat you already, so just let that one ride, man. Get him on the next snap. It actually pulled Ola out of practice for a little while, but he seemed to have been fine. Yesterday was a huge young guy emphasis, though, and watching Brewer be off to the side a little bit kind of raised my eyebrows a little bit to be like, okay, this guy is a lot further than we actually thought he was.
So are you looking at it as Taylor, Aaron, Ben, Dylan, Nate?
Yep. Exactly.
The five?
If I was to mark it down my day one starters, my prediction of – yes, that's it. Taylor.
Because Nick
Aaron,
is still too raw.
Yes, not yet, but he's an athlete, though,
right.
Jay. He's a prospect. I can honestly see him playing tackle or guard. I could, just because the arms, and he's a big body guy that's big enough to play inside, and it's a factor of where
Right
they want to
side,
go.
though.
Right,
Probably right
yeah,
side.
probably right. But you just never know how they try to develop him as a left tackle, too. Again, we're talking about this Taylor situation as far as how long is he going to be around. I personally think when you got a franchise tackle, and I was actually talking to a guy yesterday around campus, it's like it's hard to find good offensive linemen coming out of college because all they want to do is run their offense. And what do we always speak about with those OCs and head coaches in college? Lane wants to run his offense because it's his baby, and he going to do it. Heupel wants to run it. But what do they do a disservice to? The offensive lineman. They can't get under, they can't do three-point stances. They can't, they don't know how to really pass set or get down and do and run block properly because colleges don't allow them to do those types of things. So as far as Taylor goes, and let's say Nicholas Petit-Frere also, you got guys that are young enough that can play the position, and Taylor's a franchise left tackle at this point in time. Do you already hastily get rid of him, or do you re-sign him and say, look, we're going to continue to develop? And if we got to move guy around, Nate is up soon enough, and you still got enough youth that I'll say this, if Ben is done, move Aaron Brewer to the inside, Nicholas Petit-Frere. Like, you got options now is what I'm saying. But he's young, learning the technique as far as Petit-Frere goes. But he could play somewhere if injuries kind of pop up a little bit.
So I would say this. I mean, I think Taylor's future gets determined by how healthy he can stay throughout this year.
That's key.
Because they're going to need him
That's
in all
key.
these games against these quarterbacks, and certainly they're going to need him to hold his own to make sure Tannehill has the opportunity to answer those quarterbacks. But if he performs properly because of the youth everywhere else, because everybody else is so much younger. I mean, even Nate is not old, but some of these other dudes are just babies in this league, right?
Yeah.
Even if you don't like and look, there's some things about Taylor that rub me the wrong way. I'm not the biggest fan of.
Yeah.
But having a veteran that's still got some nasty in him on that line to try and set an emotional tone for that group could be valuable enough should he stay healthy, even if he's not the Pro Bowl guy he was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
That he still might have worth for another season.
And that is a huge point, Jay, is you can extend them and push money as far as the way you manage a cap and stuff like that. Me personally, seeing him this second year after the ACL, as far as Taylor goes, he seems to be in a good spot. Like you said, it looks like the old him, and apparently he had a little bit of a dust-up yesterday with somebody. And so that tells me he's got a little bit of his edge back. So I was kind of excited to see that. If you see him walking around practice, he's got a little bounce in his step and everything. So Derek, though, Jay, I can't say this enough. The kid, Derek Henry, is a friggin' – I see why. Again, I know I said this last week, but I see why. You give him all the time he needs off, and you just ready him for the season. Again, I want to see them be able to throw the ball through the air a whole lot more. That's always been our key. Why did Russ get out of Seattle, Jay? He wanted a passing game.
Yeah, he did. He got tired of run the ball, field control.
Yeah.
Ball control, run the ball,
clock management.
Fourth quarter, hey, Russ, we're down 2 touchdowns. Go win us the game.
Yeah.
He got really frustrated with that over the last 3-4 years.
And I love the idea of the run game too, but you have to have an X factor through the passing game, and that's the one good thing we are getting out of camp is hearing some good stuff about Traylon, Bobby.
One guy you haven't mentioned yet.
Who's that?
Hassan,
yes.
Hassan's getting a lot of positive stuff said about him right now as well. And that to me is as important as almost as important as any of this because it's not about replacing Derek in the future.
No.
It's about spelling Derek now to where he doesn't have to carry the ball so much if you've got another guy. Like you don't have Deontay Foreman, but if you still had Foreman, he'd be the perfect guy.
Yeah.
Potentially to come in for a series here and there to save the wear and tear on Derek. If Hassan is able to go in there, give you 7-8 touches a game and get you some positives out of that, then you can start to build upon that. Then all of a sudden maybe you have a little bit of a fresher Derek at the end of the year, and that could be critical.
And I think that's what they're trying to do with him too. Hassan, he does look good. He has really good speed from what I saw, and he runs with his shoulder pads low. You know, that's one thing big backs have a problem with is they stay high. Watching him hit the gap, and maybe it's because the Titans have a very physical camp that he better get his shoulder pads low. But he runs with intent. He runs like a guy that is a running back. You know how some guys you're like, I've seen guys come in before and look at him like, he better adjust quick. No, it looks like Haskins has adjusted to what NFL running style is, or the way he played at, what was it, Michigan? He's been a guy that knows how to run the ball because that's what they do in the Big Ten. They are downhill type of backs. He's a big guy, but he ain't Derrick Henry big. But he's got good breakaway speed, though, from what I saw. And able to I saw him get hit sometimes and still stay up as far as the contact balance goes. He fights for the extra yard, so that could be a good – this could be, to your point, Jay, good for Derek. But it's a matter of what Derek needs to get going.
And I remember going on Speaks, and we talked about he's a guy that gets better as he goes along. The more carries he has, the better he is because you don't want to hit him late. If you're dealing with him in the fourth quarter, those are painful tackles for you to make.
They are.
Much more painful than they are in the first quarter. But at the same time, I just want to see the dude upright and dialed in and smooth and powerful in January.
Yeah.
You need him then. That doesn't mean I want 200 carries this season. It means I'd rather not see 400 if you have another guy that can go in there and do some work for you also.
Almost at a point, let him do his thing midway through the second quarter so you can save Derek for the second half or something. You know?
Let him get the LeBron rest.
Yeah.
Let him get the Kobe rest. Let him take him out for the last 2-3 minutes of the first quarter.
Yes.
Bring him back in midway through the second, assuming you're in position to do it. I'm not saying you take him out of a game that isn't going particularly well and you absolutely need him or whatever like that. I'm just saying if Haskins can give you something, you need to utilize that if you can.
Yeah, and he's, like I said, he's a Titan-style running back. He just is. You see him operate, you like, shoulders down, speed across the edge. That's one thing you can say about the Titans running backs is all of them have been big, but most of them have had breakaway speed. Like, I'm like, how do you continue to find this type of guy every single time? Like, you transition from one to the other, and that right there says a lot about the scouting department. But the young guys, they had a day yesterday. I'm still impressed with watching the young D tackle more than anything. D tackles, Laurel Murchison had a few good shots yesterday. Like I said, I brought up Naquan again just simply because you're a young offensive lineman. That dude's been in the league for about a year or so, some change. He knows what he's doing. Plus, the way they cultivate this defense to be aggressive and get upfield says a lot about him. It's for sure run heavy right now and defense, but we're hearing the sprinkles of and seeing the sprinkles of this wide receiver core kind of coming together. The emphasis again on Kyle Phillips was something I don't know if I'm surprised by it because I've heard, just how small he is and, what he looks like in street clothes. And I'm just like, yeah, but that guy's a football player. He's a football player, period.
One thing I think is important and should be very encouraging for Titans fans this season. I don't think that we emphasized enough or appreciated enough last season, folks, how trash it was for Tannehill not to ever seemingly have his receivers at practice.
Yeah.
I mean, really, right? I mean, start to think about that for a second. AJ missed significant practice time throughout the year. Julio missed more practice than he took part in. During camp, they were not working together enough.
Nope.
What? I mean, who did he have the best chemistry with? I mean, AJ and him had chemistry going back. It was NWI. And where was NWI throughout the offseason? Practicing.
Yep.
There's something to be said for Bobby Trees being out there.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And all these other guys being out there, and Traylon being out there, and what you're hearing about him picking stuff up day after day after day. Like, there's something about the makeup of a team that actually wants to be there in August that might make them better when you come around to the season faster, meaning gelling faster, more chemistry, understanding what is expected of each of them in a certain spot, and certainly a comfort zone for Tannehill, and he needs it because last year I don't think he ever played in a comfort zone.
That comfort zone that you speak of, yes, 100%. So we, of course, spoke a lot about this when we got news of it, right? The visuals, the bending over, the asthma pump when it comes to Traylon. Where I wonder where his fan base is now with what they've heard about him. Like, if you ask me who won the summer, Traylon Burks did. That was a lot of pressure to kind of get over, Jay. Like, he got bashed for two reasons. Not being AJ and whether he was out of shape or just not taking care of his responsibility with his asthma. He won the summer to me, being that he's been available.
He won the last 2 weeks.
Well,
I'm not going to say he won the summer because earlier this summer is when everything started going crazy.
Well, okay, he won the mini camp break to camp.
Yes.
Yeah, he won to me. We haven't gone down that route, and nobody has so far.
No. I mean, again, there was overreaction to that stuff.
Yep.
Now there should be overreaction in the other direction because that's how things work with a pendulum swing. Don't get too high now, but you shouldn't have been that low to begin with. So let's get to the season. Let's see what happens when it's dudes in other jerseys that he has to deal with as opposed to the ones that he's seeing every day. Mm-hmm. And we'll see because we still don't know, but it's encouraging. And I think that's the important thing is that you can be encouraged.
Say that.
You can feel encouraged about where he is, especially maybe how you felt about him a month ago. And I think generally that's how you should feel about this entire offense right now is that there are encouraging factors surrounding multiple guys, young guys and veterans, that should tell you this mixture could provide what you want as a Titans fan this season. 615-737-1045 is the telephone number. 737-1045 is your number. Reminder, Rhett Bryan, Buck Reising, later on in the program, plenty of time for you. We're going to talk about the Dolphins. We'll probably wait until the top of the hour because that's fascinating. There's nothing new on Deshaun, but I think we're getting to the day where something has to be done or nothing's going to be done.
Yep.
So we'll find out. Plus, Juan Soto is a Padre. They're going to buy everybody.
Oh.
They're going to buy everybody, and that's one of the biggest hauls you will ever see in your life.
You
I
know
think
what
they
I
gave up
said?
half the team to get him.
I walked in the house after getting off the road last night. I said, hey, we're going back to San Diego next year. I got to see it. I got to see what this is going to look like in person, Jay.
They'll get DeGrom after the season, too. We'll be back. It's Jay Martin and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. Hey, so I've been telling you about PAI Medical now since last fall. I went and saw them because there were people in the building that swore by them and trusted them when it came to hair loss or just hair thinning. It's your own hair. It's your own stuff. It's not something you're buying in terms of something that's not yours, something that's not real, something that's not genuine. But I was still a little skeptical. Then I went in and talked to them. We've still got about 6 more months before whatever's going to happen with me fully happens. But I've seen some photos. I saw the photos the day I went in for my procedure. And then last week, they showed me photos. We took new photos, and we sat down. They were exact same angles, and it was staggering. Absolutely staggering. And they're just awesome people. And if hair loss has you down, if it's hitting your confidence, if it's just bothersome to you, if it's just something that, look, maybe nobody's even said anything, but you notice it just a little bit, you can do something about it. And you can do something about it affordably. They got payment plans to fit anyone's budget. Surgically, they can do the transplant stuff. They can do non-surgical stuff to help thicken it up, make sure it's a little bit more rejuvenated, comfortably. Whatever it is that you need, they are experts at hair. I trusted them with mine, and I'm so glad that I did. You should, too. They've been in Nashville for over 25 years. They're the very best at this. 615-376-6010 is the telephone number. That's 376-6010. Talk to Michael Ramsey and his staff just like I did, or visit them online. WeGrowHair.com is the website. That's WeGrowHair.com.
1045 The Zone's 2022 High School Football Media Day, sponsored by Puckett's, is tonight. Tune in as Will Bowling and Lucas Panzica preview the upcoming high school football season in Middle Tennessee with local coaches, media, and special guests live. That'll be 7 to 9 tonight. Thanks to Puckett's. You can find out more at 1045thezone.com.
Thank you, Mr. Schaefer. I think that's who you are.
I don't even know who I am right now.
We don't. A smooth face, man. Baby face. Baby face shape. I'm proud of you, man. You pulling together well.
R.I.P. Vin Scully, 94. Best to ever do it.
Yeah.
Greatest baseball announcer you will ever hear. Period. I mean, it's not a deep thought there. It's just Vin's incredible.
Yeah, I was telling Shafe when I was walking in, I heard a snippet of him on his final call. Him giving his well wishes to all his listeners. Was it 60-plus years, Jay, of doing that? All the things he's said and seen and done is just like, you really pay a respect to somebody that's that legendary, man. One of those other things yesterday that made breaking news just because of how important he was to the game. And me, of course, not being diving all the way. I knew the name, but I didn't know the importance of everything that he had done. That's that right there is a figure for sure, Jay.
You want to hear the Bill Buckner call?
Yeah. Wow.
The classic announcers like Dick Enberg, who was my all-time favorite. Jack Buck, who I grew up listening to and made me care about Joe Buck early in his career.
Yeah.
And Joe was kind of like Mike Gola Jr., where, oh, you got it because of that. Yeah. Nah, you got it because you're good. Really, really good.
So Jack Buck is Joe Buck's dad.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And he was an
Cardinals. He did the World Series games that I remember the most.
Yeah.
He did the Braves Twins, which is still one of the most painful sports memories I will ever
He had an
experience.
iconic call of the Kirk Gibson play, and of course Vin Scully did a call of the Kirk Gibson play in that World Series back in 88.
Hand down, man down.
Hand down, man
the
down?
one in the 88 World Series with the Dodgers.
Is that
when he had one arm
running
the bases?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I got to see this.
Yeah, you need to check it out. But both of those, I mean, all those guys, those old school dudes. Skip Carey, of course, I grew up with.
Yeah.
Harry Carey for Cubs fans. There were a number of them, and some were more just straight up baseball announcers, and some were more personality driven. Vin was just like, it was like royalty. Listening to him, listening to Jack Buck, listening to Dick Enberg. You just don't see that anymore.
Yeah.
Like that's why you got to recognize and understand, folks, how good you have it with Mike Keith.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of NFL broadcasts across the NFL. Let's just say they don't have a quarter of Mike Keith.
Yeah.
The broadcast as a whole are nothing. Like Titans Radio, there's a reason they've won awards. There's a reason why you enjoy listening to them the way you do. Because Rhett and Phil and Brad and Mike and Mac and Amy and that entire crew, they make sure technically it sounds like beautiful,
and
like it's coming off
pride
and they
it.
take pride in how it sounds, what they say, the preparation they do. I can't tell you how good they really are. Like it's hard to describe it, but you know it because you go out of your way to listen to it. And many NFL teams don't have anything close. Not anything close to these guys.
No, I was talking to a guy last night and said that, Mike Keith was speaking at, I think, Goodlettsville recently. And they were talking about, he spoke for like 50-some minutes. And it's just like he's up there just commanding the crowd like he's a coach. And I'm thinking to myself, well, as much as he dives in, the knowledge that he has about this team, and not just that, the history of it. You sit down with Mike Keith and you realize instantly, we do this, but that's a damn pro.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, he can speak like he's a coach or a GM of this team. And to your point, Jay, not to, what just do more than what you said, but Mike Keith's that good.
Yes, he is.
Titans radio is that good.
That crew is world class.
Yeah.
615-737-1045. The Dolphins,
Not that good.
we will discuss after the headlines. Jay Martin, Ramon, 1045 The Zone. Genesis Diamonds opening up that vault. I've been telling you about it all week. Largest GIA diamond event ever starting Saturday. Limited time. All engagement rings marked down 20% below the Genesis already unbeatable price. That means you can buy like a dealer buys, deep discounts on over $10 million in stunning diamond rings. Remarkable savings every single ring, half carat to 20 carats, all shapes, your cushions, your emeralds, your ovals, your pairs, whatever it is, your rounds, your princess cuts, and they're handpicked. They come straight from the diamond cutters. They're graded by the GIA, the most prestigious gem lab in the world. You know the Genesis everyday price is unbeatable, but for this event, value off the charts. Additional 20% savings. Don't miss this chance to save like never before on that exquisite diamond ring. Buy like a dealer buys. Buy like J-Mart buys. This is the only place I go. Starting Saturday for a limited time, exclusively at Genesis Diamonds. Limit one per customer, please. It is Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. See store for details.
Good morning. It's 7:02. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com Sports Desk. Hall of Fame broadcaster Vin Scully, who entertained and informed Dodgers fans in Brooklyn and L.A. for 67 years, died Tuesday night. He was 94 years old. San Diego Padres have acquired superstar outfielder Juan Soto and first baseman Josh Bell from the Washington Nationals in exchange for 6 players, a mix of prospects and Major League ready players. The Braves dealt former closer Will Smith to the Houston Astros for right-hander Jake Odorizzi, giving Atlanta a 6th starting pitcher for the final 2 months of the regular season. Braves won yesterday, defeating the Phils 13-1. They are 2.5 games behind the Mets for first place in the NL East. To the NFL, they are stripping the Miami Dolphins of their 2023 first-round pick, among other disciplinary measures for violating league policies relating to the integrity of the game. The league found that the Dolphins violated the anti-tampering policy on 3 occasions from 2019 to 2022 in conversations with quarterback Tom Brady and the agent for then New Orleans Saints coach Sean Payton. Boys and Gold in action tonight on the West Coast. Nashville SC at Portland Timbers. 9:30 will be the kick for that. For my foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening? Hour 3, J Mart and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Jonathan Schaefer, Jason Martin, at Ramon Foster, at Schaefer on Sports, at J Mart Radio, at J Mart and Ramon. So, the Dolphins have lost draft picks. Brian Flores' lawsuit's kind of thrown out, or his complaints. But Stephen Ross is not to be around the team until October 17th. Biggest thing is they lost the first-round draft pick next year. They surrender that.
Yeah.
And the Patriots, if you can believe this, look sympathetic because that might be why they lost Tom. It might be part of the story is that there was tampering going on while he was still there to try and get him out of there, which is funny in its own right.
Right.
The timing of this. I heard an argument this morning about the timing of this, that the NFL wanted to control the news yesterday when Juan Soto was being traded.
What?
And I was just like, why would they care to then drop that right now?
They don't care.
I thought that was a bad argument, personally.
Yeah.
It's interesting it's 2 days after Deshaun. I don't think it really changes much. Now, if they don't do anything with Deshaun, now this is the top story now on ESPN. The top story should still be Deshaun.
Yeah, 100%.
But these violations, basically, Stephen Ross kind of emphasized losing, being better because draft position was more important for them. And they talked to Brady for 2 different seasons. They spent 2 years trying to recruit him. First when he was in New England, later in Tampa Bay. They discussed being a limited partner, a team exec, and the quarterback. Anti-tampering policy in the NFL. No club nor any person employed by or otherwise affiliated with a club is permitted to tamper with a player who is under contract to or whose exclusive negotiation rights are held by another club. They also spoke to Sean Payton's agent in January before he had resigned. Dolphins would have needed permission from the Saints to talk to him. So they didn't ask. Kept going, so they forfeit one of their first-rounders in 2023, a third-rounder in 2024, $1.5 million fine for Ross, suspended until October 17th. 6-game suspension basically is what it is, which is hilarious.
Same as Deshaun.
Yeah.
This is why I don't think they're going to move from it. Is this like the NFL's like baseline, you get 6, like that's as harsh as we're going to go? Because that's one thing we did fight for as a union is like, you you suspend guys, like you actually are sending them away from what actually helps them. You need to guide and help them along the way. And it seemed like they've kind of settled on the fact that 6 games is enough with these types of issues, other than, Calvin Ridley kind of betting on the game. He gets a year automatically with no appeal process to it. If we can just go back to the offer that they gave Brady, Jay, what do most players want? Money, and then they get enough, and then they want what? They want to own something, right? That Brady is a strong-minded individual, okay? Because there's one sector of this sports world that gains. No, one sector of this economy that always is gaining, and that is sports. That's the NFL, NBA, all sports involved for the most part. They offered him limited partner, team executive, and quarterback. That's a tough one to turn down, Jason. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm looking at that one like, yo, can we make this deal? I'd have probably broken the rules on that one. You giving me partnership with you? Oh, I'm taking it. And it's Miami. That'd be hard to turn down. That would be very, very hard to turn down. But maybe Brady knew it was illegal or whatever the case may have been. But I'd have probably jumped on that one, man, considering all things involved as far as being a team owner essentially at that point, or partner at that point.
Ross came out and said, yeah, we didn't tamper. This proved it. No, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
It says that you didn't. Okay, so it did say you didn't tank, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't say you didn't want them to.
Right. No.
Like, it's very obvious you wanted them to. That seems pretty clear. It did find, look, Flores alleged he was offered $100,000 to lose in 2019
per game.
That what the investigation found was that Ross did comment to people in the Dolphins front office, including Flores, that the 2020 draft should have priority over winning in 2019. Flores, this is from ESPN, took those comments as a suggestion from his boss to lose. But the investigation found the team never intentionally lost a game. There were differing recollections about the wording, timing, and context. Such a comment from the NFL, such a comment was not intended or taken to be a serious offer, nor was the subject pursued in any respect by Mr. Ross or anyone else at the club. So he just threw that stuff out there.
Yeah.
Flores took that to mean, I'm supposed to do this. And that was, whatever.
Yeah. But he said it weren't proven that they actually tried to lose. Well, it was because the head coach didn't want those rules. Like, he didn't agree to that. He knew his job was on the line one way or the other. What do you want? Extra couple coins in your pocket, or you actually want to prove that you're a really good coach? Most coaches, all coaches, want to just simply coach, man. The ones that are pure about their job want to coach. And I don't blame Flores when it comes down to it. It's like, look, man, you're not going to pay me to lose. I have some integrity in this crazy business that we all are involved in. That is insane to me. It really undermined the lawsuit of Brian Flores, because it really is, and we spoke about it before on air, is he said, she said at this point. Looking at the NFL's investigation of it all, maybe they push it far enough to where he gets a settlement if that's what he wants, or it's simply we see now the NFL – This is light as far as he goes. $1.5 million fine. I know
that's a drop in the bucket for somebody like Stephen Ross.
He's gonna watch this game, those 6 games on his yacht next to friggin' the stadium. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not hurt by not being in the stadium.
He's not winning or losing. Tua is.
No.
Tyreek Hill is.
You know what this penalty
those
is?
guys are.
It's a speeding ticket.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a moving
Well,
citation.
yeah, man.
That part of it is. Losing a first rounder is important.
Yeah.
True, but when you don't necessarily have to be competitive to make money, Stephen Ross isn't going to
Don't they have 2 first-round picks next year?
They do.
Yeah.
So
Well, now they have 1. That's still a first-round draft pick.
No,
guys.
but
that's not nothing.
But they had a first-round pick from a couple of years prior to
Houston.
that, so they actually had 2. They had Houston's.
No,
so yeah, they lost.
They still
one,
lost 1,
but they still have 1.
they still you see
You'd
what I'm
rather
saying?
have 2 than 1.
No,
though.
competitively, it does make a difference with a first-round pick. But what I'm saying is, if you're the owner, Stephen Ross, and you're looking to make the biggest play in the history of the NFL, by getting Tom Brady and Sean Payton, if that is the case, trying to get both of them at the same time, you don't care about this.
Yeah.
You know what it's called? The cost of business.
What's funny to me is just tampering happens all the time.
It does.
Every time I hear these stories like this, I'm like, of course they talk to him. Of course they talk to his representative. Dude, didn't Sean McVay meet with Matt Stafford
Yeah.
in Tahoe? And that was like a big fun joke that everybody was talking about.
Yeah, Cabo. Yeah. He did.
One of the rich guy places.
It's in Mexico. But I know you bring up that well, it's still a first round. It is, but it also looks like, well, you got to give me one. Like, this is the good old boy system again at work as far as the NFL goes. Like, that's why I personally don't think much is going to come out of the Deshaun Watson situation as far as an appeal, as far as Roger Goodell stepping in, because this is one of those, you got to give me something. It's one of those moments. You see in the old mob movies, Jay, like, you got to give me something. When you've done something egregious to the other families and you sacrifice somebody. Well, what do you got? Well, I can get one of my foot soldiers, get rid of one of my foot soldiers. That other first-round draft pick was a foot soldier to Ross and the Miami Dolphins. You got to give me one. If they'd have really hit him, they'd have taken both of those and a second round next year or something like that. But no, this is Roger Goodell painting the picture that I'm going to look after my homies. And his homies tip him very well at the end of the year for him doing good business with them. Haslam and the Browns, won't much happen from Deshaun, I don't think. And they know it. That whole triggered a fan base. Like, get the hell out of here with that. This is where we are with the sport. The sport is powerful. This just means of operating. Ross is going to sit out on his boat, watch that game, let everybody else enjoy themselves, and hopefully Tua does his thing with Waddle and everybody else and Tariq. Like, they still won. Like, how bad do they need those first-round draft picks when they got the guys that they have on offense? They got a young enough offensive line. They have a good enough receiving core. Their quarterback is here. But they're a solid team. They'll compete this year is how I look at it. What they do out of the East, I have no clue. That's the Bills and the rest of the bunch, right?
Yeah. And now they're saying the Bills, the Browns, and the rest of the bunch.
Who? Say that second
Vegas
name.
is saying the Browns and the Bills and everybody in the bunch.
I hate it here.
Because it's August.
I know, man.
And that's when the Browns do their best work. 615-737-1045.
Solid.
737-1045. We'll keep talking about this. We'll look at some of the other things happening around the NFL when we come back out of the break. Take your thoughts as well. It's J Mart and Ramon, 1045 The Zone. Hey, man, I hope your plumbing is good. If it's not, you need to make it good. Because if your plumbing's wrong, then you don't even want to be in your house. It's just a problem. It's a problem down the hall when the plumbing is out. And the answer is Lee Company. Also, I knew this because Moan told us last week. He was having issues with the tankless water heater. Well, I told him there's a promo at Lee Company. $750 off a tankless water heater with the purchase of a research system. Now's the time to take advantage. You haven't had endless hot water at your fingertips. Sounds ridiculous on a 90-degree day. You still need warm water. You still need to, and you need to make sure you're good going into the fall anyway. And if you can save nearly $1,000 right now, $750 off a tankless water heater with the purchase of a research system, why wouldn't you do that? But in terms of plumbing, these are master plumbers, experts that come out from Lee Company, drain services. If you got low flow faucets, actually, we just put in a new faucet in the kitchen. Yeah, I don't like the water pressure in that thing. I might need to call them again. Leak detection, trenchless pipe replacement, water heaters, everything. Plumbing experts that can assist with all of your home needs. 615-567-1000 is the telephone number to call. Again, $750 right now off a tankless water heater with the purchase of a research system. Go to leecompany.com/promotions. Get all the information right there. Lee Company, 615-567-1000. Again, 567-1000. Lee Company, all you need. Welcome back, J Mart and Ramon. 1045 The Zone. The tampering penalties only go to the office. They don't go to the players or the recipients. So Peyton and Brady are in the clear from that perspective. NBA right now is still looking at the 76ers with Harden tampering to get PJ Tucker and some people there. Some people are mentioning, hey, A.J. Brown went to Jalen Hurts'
It's true.
all that kind of stuff. That's fine as long as he wasn't there as an official representative of the club dropping information, which, look, I'm not naive.
Mm-hmm.
That was discussed.
Yeah.
But nothing's coming from that. But players talk all
100%.
the time. I didn't even play, and I can tell you that.
Well, let's think about Devontae and Derek Carr.
For sure.
That just happened? Or did they plan on that to happen about a year ago?
I mean, remember Devontae made the comment over a year ago.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind playing him, and then it ended up happening. That's why I say you need to start listening when guys talk.
Yeah.
Because what they say matters, and it tends to lead to something.
Yeah.
AJ,
Sure did.
pay attention. Don't pay attention when he's like, I'm tired of this. But he was. But what was he tired of? Was he tired of the talk, or was he tired of Tennessee?
It seemed to have been a little bit tired of Tennessee. And I think that's why he continues to jab. I legitimately do. Like, there is no reason to say what he said last week about all three of us got the same deal. It's funny because I'm the only one on the new team. He's just jabbing.
Yeah, man. It's so stupid, too. Like, the more he does this, just go play football.
Yeah, man.
Go play football in Philly and ball out. Like, go prove that you were worth that money.
Yeah.
But you're gone. When you make the decision to leave an organization, just keep that organization's name out of your mouth while you're still active doing something else. You go do you and let those actions speak for you.
When he's got to see this team, too.
Yeah, there's just no reason to, who cares? At this point in time, he's not here.
Mm-hmm.
So the more he does this, the less effect it has. And the more it just leads to eye rolls. And the more it leads to, I hope you fail.
To the pile up of you better ball out.
Yeah, you're putting pressure on yourself at this point.
And not just him, man, not just this fan base, but Philly. Like, they need for him to ball this year. AJ has become the guy, man, for a dude that's had the success he's had this far in his career. He's got a name, and those folks in Philly are expecting a certain type of product, dog. And you know how this can go, Jay. We've seen how his reaction has been here in Nashville to some criticism from the fan base. Philly just don't give a.
I mean, think about this. Think about this. Who has handled it more adult? Baker Mayfield or A.J. Brown?
Baker.
Who got treated worse?
Baker.
Not even close, right?
Baker.
Not even close.
Baker.
Baker refused to comment on Deshaun. Said, I'm just worried about getting better every day.
Oh.
Taking whatever they're teaching me, install, and being ready to help this football team. You know he wants to go off, and deservedly so.
And the part is they want to give him that starting position. If we're being honest
he's
about
gonna get it. I mean, he's better than Sam Darnold.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he wants that position. And that's what I'm like, oh, yeah, he probably does. I think Baker has a whole lot of time. I think it was unfairly done wrong
I
in this
agree
one.
with you.
But business is business. And Deshaun, from what we know, is a special type of player, period.
But if you could have bet on it before the fact, who do you believe would have handled their respective situation better, AJ or Baker?
Who I would have thought would have?
Yeah.
Because of the situation, I thought AJ would have handled it better.
Exactly right.
Yeah, I thought he would have handled it better.
Here's we say this sometimes.
Yeah.
You're doing too much.
You're doing too much. Be cooler, dog. Yeah.
Keep your powder dry.
Yes, indeed, man. I'm anxious to see what AJ Brown. I'm anxious to see what the Phillies going to look like. Period. Because I think Washington has a good football team because they're coached well. We can say that, right?
Yes.
They're coached well. And then Dallas, of course, has a lot of weapons, although they lost James Washington this week or yesterday. Dallas always finds his way as far as, competing. So that division isn't as easy as they think it's going to be this year. And, of course, with Jalen Hurts, what is he going to do with them? AJ, y'all got to show and prove. It's got to be that, and you got to leave this team down south alone. Like, dude, you got the biggest bulk of the cash from all four guys or all three guys, four guys. He's talking the most, though, Jay. So
it's like, stop at the rabbit ears. The best thing you do, I've told you before, AJ, cancel social media, bro.
Yeah.
Just stop. Let somebody run it that says, hey, here's my football camp, and here's where you can do this, and here's where you can do this.
Yeah.
You get nothing out of this. And apparently you can't not clap back at people you've never met that should – and look, no offense to whoever that is, but that's not relevant to you.
Yeah, 100%.
Like you don't have to do this. You can just go about your life. You have gotten your money.
Yeah.
You're playing for a respected organization.
Yeah.
You got a quarterback that's a friend.
Yeah.
You got another player in Devontae Smith that you should be able to get along with, that everybody seems to get along with. You guys have promise in a division where you can win it.
Yep.
Well, now I would just say shut up.
So for the guy that replaced AJ here too, I said it's a fair point. I don't know about Washington / Carson
Yeah,
Wentz.
well, look, Heineke's
I
still
said
there.
the coach is good enough to where he'll get him out
Wentz
of this
can
funk,
make
okay?
plays. He's just going to do other things that are going to hurt you.
And you hope Rivera is a guy that can say, hey, Carson, stop that. I need the first half of your Philadelphia career. I don't need Indianapolis. It's basically what he's going to be saying. So you're right about that. Yeah, Wentz is nuts. But the guy that replaced AJ here, Traylon Burks, we spoke about him losing weight and being well-conditioned now. He's still a big wide receiver.
Yeah.
He still is a big wide receiver, man. You see him, you're like, this kid is well put together, and you see why he was a first rounder. He could be special for this team. And I, initially was like, well, can he get 1,000 yards? What is that going to look like? That all depends on this offense and health, first and foremost. But watching him do work in practice, you're like, yeah. If he was truly drafted as a first rounder and they give him the ball like he's a first rounder, I can see him having 1,000 yards. I could see him having 1,000 yards. AJ, for whatever reason, was a second-round draft pick. Like, you're slated where you are for a reason. And if Traylon is legitimately a first-round draft pick talent and all of the league saw him as being such, I'd almost say career-wise, projection is the word coaches and scouts and everybody like to use, projections, he could be better than AJ.
He could be.
That's a bonus right there. He could be. I'm not saying he will. I'm saying he could be better than AJ if all things line up. And so far in camp, he's kind of proven why he's a little bit of why he was a first-round draft pick. Now that he's got himself together.
Cable said, did AJ pop off again? No, this was from Sunday. We didn't really discuss it all that much. It kind of came about while we were talking about something else. It was just kind of a reference more than anything else. Let's go to Eric in Nashville. Eric, what's going on, brother?
Today, because I'm not going to be able to do the Bleep You Aaron Rodgers tomorrow because I'm having surgery. So I'm looking forward to it. But yeah. I have to be at the place in the building. I'm having surgery at 5:30 in the morning. I'm going to be the first one going up.
That's a Bleep You Aaron Rodgers right there.
No, that's a good thing.
It's not. You don't want to have to wake up and wait for surgery.
Afternoon, waiting on them to pull your body apart. No, man. Have you realized, and I hate to give you this anxiety, Eric, before you go under, but you know how disrespectful they get with your body when you're under? Like they pull and tug and saw and burn.
Why are you scaring the guy like this? What the hell are you doing?
Eric,
Why are you doing this to Eric? The guy's having hip surgery. You're terrifying him.
man.
What's wrong with you? This is why we can't have nice things.
Oh, man.
My bad, Eric.
That make me feel confident and good, but man, you just said all that stuff.
My bad, Eric. Go ahead. Good luck.
No, I got to laugh it off, guys. But, the pain with my hip bothered me a little bit last night, so it's starting to progressively get worse, but it's not to the point where it was last time. And that's the reason I'm going under the knife now, so it won't get to that point. But, but the 3 I have tomorrow, I can save for next week. I'm not going to give the Bleep You Aaron Rodgers today, but just wish me luck. And, I'll probably call sometime next week after that. But just a couple of things I want to talk about, and then I'll get off. The whole Stephen Ross Dolphins thing, there's debate about whether or not it was fair or whether or not he should have got punished more. I heard Chris Candy and Dan Orlovsky going back and forth about it this morning, so it's just going to be to see how all that shakes out. But, guys, now people are going to make them wonder, was it tampering with Tyreek Hill going to my head and all that stuff? So, but the whole thing, real quickly, about A.J. Brown, guys, it's like not only you talking about all this stuff, but this was a guy who admitted last year he had issues of depression and mental health issues.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? The guy just needs to stay off social media.
Correct.
He's just putting more and more pressure on us about this. And like you said, if he doesn't stay healthy and ball out, you know those fans are going to be all over him. I mean, you think all this stuff and talking about, you know, Tennessee, let it go. Well, you need to let it go. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I'm telling you what, guys, I mean, I want him to ball out and stay healthy too, but if anytime he has any drops or if he's hurt and don't show up on the field, you know, they're going to be all over him with all that money's getting paid. So, you know, I hope it works out, but the way it's trending, it's not. Guys, y'all take care. We'll talk to you again soon.
You too.
He's focused on – yeah, Eric, definitely thoughts with you.
My bad, y'all.
He is – AJ is worried about the wrong stuff. He doesn't need to be paying attention to any of this.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you make a decision to leave an organization or a job or a company or whatever.
Or however he said it played out.
Whatever it is, like, it doesn't matter. You could have stayed if you wanted to stay.
Yeah.
They didn't kick you to the curb, right?
Mm-hmm.
You made a decision. They're not talking about you.
No, not right now.
So why would you continue to talk about them?
Yeah.
Why would you? And fans don't have enough power, AJ, for one guy to be able to get to you. It shouldn't be that way.
Not like that.
It just shouldn't be that way. And if it is, then there is a power called delete your account, or there's a power called I'm not going to that website, or whatever else, where you can just live your life externally of that with the people that you do love.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, your family,
Mm-hmm.
you know, all of the people that matter to you in your life that actually have some influence,
Benjamin.
and you have influence on them. Whoever it is, Benjamin.
Franklin.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're. Yes,
I was waiting to see if you picked that one.
I understand. Just let it go. If you make a decision to leave and you go do something else, and you're the one that's constantly talking about where you left, you've lost.
Yeah. Or you've lost. You feel some type of way about that.
You're at that point in time, you are showing weakness, and you are showing a level of emotion that doesn't portend well to where you are.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think that you made a mistake leaving, AJ. No. You did what you had to do.
Mm-hmm.
But who are you trying to convince at this point?
Yeah.
You're wearing an Eagles uniform.
Yeah.
So go play for the Philadelphia Eagles. Don't worry about what Titans fans are going to be mean to you.
Yeah.
Their feelings are hurt that you didn't choose them. You were going to upset somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you weren't. You know what? If you had stayed here, you'd have upset nobody because people have been like, "As a pipe dream, we were going to get him anyway."
Right.
Nobody's going to be upset. They're not upset at DK because he's not playing for Kansas City.
Right.
They're not upset at Deebo Samuel because he's not with the Jets. There's probably some fan that's upset, but not to that degree. Oh, you made a mistake. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You decided to leave, so you were going to upset a fan base that had bought your jerseys, that had sung your praises, that loved you. So, yeah, there were going to be people that were upset about that.
Right.
That's how life works.
Yeah.
But that's what a business decision is. If you make a business decision as an adult, handle it like an adult.
Yeah. Yep.
And the more I see from this, the more I'm just like, man, the immaturity was real with this kid.
It was.
I should still call him a man. He's not a kid, but it's like the immature. There were some issues when it came to his maturity and what he could handle emotionally. And remember, it was Vrabel that stood by him through those mental challenges, the mental health challenges, and the depression that he talked about, and all those kinds of things. It's sad to watch this because it's just like, dude, you're too good to do the stuff that you're doing right now.
And that's the thing about it. He doesn't realize. Either he doesn't realize it, and he does to the fact that he just wants to be this way, which I doubt it, because it doesn't seem like he can take this type of heat when, you know, those articles and those specials came up about what he was dealing with. So I hate it for him. He's in a spot that's good for him right now.
You said you hated for him. What do you mean?
As far as him not realizing how important he is, how good he actually is, the way we view what we like about him, his talent, just how good that is. Like Jay said, if he can't escape the app, if he can't escape the voices, the noise, and realize this is a very small person that's getting to me as far as their social media account, then I feel bad about that. That's what I'm saying. You know how people go through stuff and you don't realize, like, you're way more important to us than you actually believe. And I don't know if he's actually grabbed that for himself, other than those hot moments to where I got paid, other than those hot moments where I make a big play. Like, even in your low moments, you're still very important to the people that at that moment dislike you and to the people that absolutely love you in your house. And as you said, that are very close to you. That sounds like a person that has to often go talk to a person, Jay, to realize you're very important. There's some people that know they are and they strut around like this. Like, hey, man, you need to chill out, okay? We know you're that dude, but we don't need to hear this. AJ doesn't realize he's that dude enough to where he shouldn't let this type of stuff bother him. That's what I feel bad for, Shafe.
I mean, I think it's kind of sad to watch.
Yeah.
Right now, it's just like, dude, this is not what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
You don't, and you're in a good spot. Like, you're in a good situation. You got a quarterback who is a friend. You're young. People really like your talent. You're on an amazing pace. Doesn't mean that everything's right in your personal life. I don't know your personal life. I do know that you can't let,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find a good last name here that's not John Willis Jones, Jehoshaphat on Twitter get to you because he says something untoward about you because he's got a Titans logo in his avatar. Like, who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? Yeah. It doesn't matter, like, at all. David in Hermitage.
What's up, David?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I just wanted to say there's no doubt AJ's a great athlete, but I think now that he's gone, we're all seeing that he has the three personality characteristics that the Titans team did not want in a professional athlete, which is a diva, a whiner, and someone that likes to post every idle thought on social media.
Yeah.
Those are three things that do not go well and fit in with a team that's trying to win a Super Bowl. I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
See, I don't agree with that at all. Because they'd happily have him on this team at the terms that they feel were correct for them. I don't agree with that at all.
But you got to kind of see where David's coming from. It's like, if you're not with us, you're against us. I feel what he's saying, and that's what sports is, though, right?
Yo,
$25 million plus, $20+ million with the other team.
But most fans don't care about that.
I understand.
You should have sacrificed.
But the thing
to be with us.
is that it's convenient to say those things now because he's gone.
Well, yeah.
Where those things would not be said if he was still here. That's what I'm saying.
Your ex was probably the best you ever had in your life until she became your ex.
Understood.
See what
but
I'm
that
saying?
doesn't mean that's a fair characterization.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but you know how sports is.
Again,
I'm not pushing up against you. I'm just backing like where Dave's at. Like,
I
would you love to
why
have
he
him?
feels that
Hell
way.
yeah, you would.
All I'm saying is none of that matters if they could have agreed to terms.
Yeah.
That's it.
I feel you. I'm here for it.
615-737-1045. 737-1045. I promise it was not on my schedule today to talk about AJ.
No.
But I'm fine with it.
But you got a great one in trailing so far.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, so far.
Well,
hey,
yeah. Let's be cool. We're not here to champion.
look great.
anybody.
Keep our powder dry.
Let's play a game first.
Matter of fact, leave it on the shelf right now. Don't even buy it yet. Don't even buy the powder.
Don't even look at it.
So that you can't potentially moisten it.
J-Mart used the term. I don't use that word. J-Mart used the term encouraging. And that's where we're at.
I think that's a way to say there are positive signs without
saying encouraging is positive signs without putting a wet blanket on people's feelings.
Make sure there is no apple, no boysenberry, no pecan or pecan, no chess,
boysenberry pie?
no chicken pot. Make sure it's not in the sky, folks. Don't throw it in the air.
What's boysenberry? That sounds like something from like Revenge of the Nerds.
I don't know what that means.
These schnozberries.
Boysenberry is kind of like a blackberry.
That's a real thing?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have to enlighten me. Schnozberries.
Look up boysenberry jam during the break. We'll be back. It's J Mart and
Raspberries.
Ramon. What's your favorite jam?
We're not doing
What?
What's your favorite berry?
Strawberry is the only
I
jam.
can't ask what's your favorite berry because I know what you people are going to do in the
Dingles.
chat. Don't.
I said the chat. I didn't say the room.
My bad. My bad.
I'm logging off of my life right now.
Is the summertime heat causing you to lose your cool? I'm going to give you your answer. Yes. Yes, the heck it is, okay? But do not let a broken down or older HVAC unit keep you from being comfortable in your own home. It's Ramon Foster, and I have the heating and cooling company that can take care of all of your HVAC needs, and they are Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, locally owned right here for you, okay? And this is what they'll do for you. They have free service calls with their repairs, plus low monthly payments on those repairs if you've waited too long and you know what, you kind of need a little bit of a payment plan. That's what they'll do. And if you do need a new unit, guess what? Spring Hill Heating and Cooling offers 60 months, no interest financing. Plus, they can provide the financing for qualifying purchases and free estimates on replacement units. They also back their work with 10-year parts and labor warranties. So when the summer is at its hottest, and we are there, they are at their best. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, available anytime at springhillac.com.
Join 104.5 The Zone for our 2022 Summer Golf Classic coming up Monday, August 29th at Greystone Golf Club. The 2022 Summer Golf Classic, a day accompanied by great food, cocktails, prizes. Tickets on sale now, 1045thezone.com.
Congrats to my wife. I just looked at our camera over the crib. Hey, Dad, my bed was attended 10 minutes ago. I mean, she slept until 7:40. I put her down last night at about 8:30. So
now. She's turning it
nice
over.
being a kid.
Nice being a kid.
So, yeah, what's your favorite berry? I kind of wanted to limit it to fruits.
Yeah.
But obviously you're going to hear all the other berries now.
And I
don't even mean just the juvenile berry. I mean everything else.
I've never heard of the one you mentioned earlier. I feel like I have. I know I've never tasted it.
You've definitely heard of dingleberries.
What is wrong with you, huh?
How do you do that after you're the one that said it going into the break?
Well, we were past that moment. I thought. Come on, man. I hate you got the drop now because I want to say it, and I'm like, nope. He's got it. Huckleberry, Finn. See, now they're going into it. The strawberry jelly is the best Jerry. Oh, that was good, Zach. Eric Berry.
Sure. I think I would go with.
Well done.
I think I would go with Marvin Berry and the Starlighters.
Hey,
Daryl Strawberry.
You know why I would go with Marvin Berry? Do you know who Marvin Berry is?
I do not. I need to look him up.
It's Chuck's cousin, Back to the Future, the band and the Enchantment Under the Sea dance.
Hey now. Oh, there's another good one.
Cousin Andrew, y'all want to bet J Mart blames these shenanigans on Ramon?
Which shenanigans are we talking about?
Any
berry.
No, I'm the one who did that. I'm not blaming that on Mon. I'm blaming him on saying that word.
But the dingle.
Because I said, hey, chat, I'm not going to do this because I know where you're going. And you go, Dingleberry. Like immediately.
What'd I do? Dingleberry.
Dingleberry.
That ain't how I sound.
Yeah, you do. You just like Dingleberry. What the heck is it? What the heck is this show?
But Becky from our sales team walked in and we had a very parental conversation about kids, man. The kids, our kids in Simple Sumner started on Monday. I had people from all across was like, y'all started when? I don't know if they were sad for our kids or excited for us, but they was just like, why are y'all starting
That's
super
crazy.
early?
I didn't go till after Labor Day when I was growing up.
When did this transition happen, though? That blows my mind. But she made a point. She was like, man, she got a 5-year-old going to kindergarten. She was like, well, the issue is they don't start school to 8:45. I was like, well, they get out later in the evening then. I was like, because our kids start at 7:35, 7:40, so they get out like 2:30. She's like, no. She's like, what am I supposed to do with them for 2 hours? But she was like, they get up at 6. What am I supposed to do? I was like, that's a very parental statement right there. It says, get these kids out of the house as quick as you can. I know I'm not the only parent that's out there. It's like that. You still got CG at the house. But when that time of the year hits, Jay, and you realize it's back to school moments, it's the emancipation of your life again, Jay.
I'm still basically on safari with my daughter.
What you
like
mean?
basically I'm just observing what she's doing from day to day, seeing what she's experiencing in her life, what's changing and all of these kinds of things. Like I'm just seeing what she sees every day and what's changing about her. But like we're not in that spot where I'm having all these experiences or I don't have those challenges yet. We're still in observation phase in a large part. Right now, she's just discovering what she likes and doesn't like and all of that kind of stuff. So there's still a whole lot of stories probably coming 5 years from now.
Just wait.
Oh, I know they're coming. I'm not in any hurry.
Hey, you just wait, sir. You be like, when y'all starting? Like I've looked at the school calendar and everything already, Jay. Like,
So keeping it just to fruit, okay? Because even though I do like grape jelly, strawberry jam to me is better.
Thank you.
I do like, a blackberry jam every once in a while. I'm a big apple butter fan, too. I love apple
But
butter.
I've never bought it for my house.
Oh, I have.
that
Like
weird?
if you go to like a farmer's market or something
Yeah.
where it's homemade, like, you
Never.
don't buy apple butter in a store. You buy it at a farmer's
Okay.
market
All
or
right,
somewhere
now I
where
know.
my grandmother used to have, one of the things she canned was her own apple butter. It's the best tasting stuff you ever have. But
is it actual butter? Is what they call the remnants of what's
so.
made? Okay, all right.
I'm not positive. I don't think so.
Okay,
But
okay.
just keeping it to fruit itself. What's your berry of choice?
Strawberry, easily.
I love strawberries, but I'll tell you what, I always get excited for a fresh blackberry.
Straight up.
Blackberries are good.
I've never had blackberry jam.
I like both. Well, I'm not talking about jam. I'm talking about the fruit.
the preserve. Oh,
Yeah, the
fruit.
preserves are good too.
You're talking about
but
the fruit, yeah. Okay, yeah, the fruit is a status.
A blackberry,
Yeah.
phenomenal. And when I see something that's blackberry flavored, I'm always intrigued. I always
not.
wanted to meet like a cobbler or something like that. Even though I'm in a peach cobbler. If I'm just going cobbler, I'm probably going peach
Only
cobbler.
cobbler I've ever had was peach. I've never had any other type.
You haven't had apple cobbler or blueberry cobbler?
I had
or,
apple crumble, which is probably the same thing.
Similar, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty similar. Peach cobbler. If it's cobbler, I'm going peach.
Yeah.
Or I'm going wooden shoes. 615-737-1045. A cobbler.
I got it.
I know it's not Friday.
I got it.
Sorry, they all can't be Dingleberg. Rhett Bryan coming up in 20
Hey, y'all.
minutes here on 1045 The Zone.
As leaders in disaster cleanup and restoration, the pros at ServPro are prepared for anything, okay? Like when that relief valve on your water heater fails, pouring gallons of water into your finished basement, ServPro is prepared for it. Or if you shot off fireworks this 4th of July and you caught your roof on fire and now you need somebody to repair it, guess what? ServPro is prepared for that too. Or if you have a musty odor that indicates you might have a mold problem and it's not your teenager, ServPro is prepared for it. You need a lot more than help sometimes cleaning up, and that's why ServPro is your one-stop shop when disaster strikes. Not only do they have the equipment and expertise to clean up damage from fire, water, or mold, but they also offer a variety of construction services ranging from drywall patching and document drying all the way to complete structure rebuilds. There's just one call you need to make to bring your home or business back as good as new and as soon as possible. So if you're in need of cleanup from fire, water, or any unpleasant event, ServPro is always ready to help. Call ServPro and the official downtown Nashville operators at 800 ServPro to see how we can help you get back to like it never even happened. The number is 800 ServPro. ServPro, cleaning, restoration, construction, franchising, independently owned and operated.
It is 8:02. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. Hall of Fame broadcaster Vin Scully, who entertained and informed Dodgers fans from Brooklyn to Los Angeles for 67 years. He died on Tuesday night. Scully was the longest tenured broadcaster with a single team in pro sports history. He was 94 years old. Plenty of movement yesterday before the Major League Baseball trade deadline. The San Diego Padres have acquired superstar outfielder Juan Soto and first baseman Josh Bell from the Washington Nationals in exchange for 6 players. The Braves dealt former closer Will Smith, who helped them to a World Series championship last year, to the Houston Astros for right-hander Jake Odorizzi, giving Atlanta a 6th starting pitcher for their final 2 months of the regular season. The Braves did win yesterday, defeating the Phillies 13-1. Braves 2.5 games behind the Mets for first place in the NL East. Definitely in great shape for a wild card spot. The NFL is stripping the Miami Dolphins of its 2023 first-round pick, among other disciplinary measures for violating league policies relating to the integrity of the game. And the boys in gold in action on the West Coast. Nashville SC at Portland Timbers tonight, 9:30 will be the kick locally. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening? 4th hour. I'm saying it incorrectly because I said hour 3 and got called out for it last hour.
Doing? That's so petty.
Apparently, I said hour 3.
That's so petty.
Is this like
Next
Dwight?
year, next is going to be the 5th hour.
It's like it's like Jim and Dwight when he's reset the clock.
Yeah, that's right.
What hour is this one, Jason?
This is hour 3.
Oh, yeah!
Hey.
Boil behind the glass.
All clean, baby.
Shafe's all clean shaven today.
I'm gonna put Boyle in. I'm gonna put a photo of Boyle in the Slack.
Yeah, please.
Excuse me for just a second.
Kiss my ass.
All right. Larry in Kentucky's on line 1. Larry?
Good morning, Larry.
Hey, good morning, guys. Just had to say my favorite berry would have to be Barry White.
Hey, I love Larry. And he went deep voice on.
Don't eat a white berry though.
Halle Berry got brought up in the chat
Of course.
and swordfish, and then I'm just not going to discuss anything further.
What? Just never leave it to the chat to steer this show.
Oh,
Ever.
they live in their own universe.
Ever. Golly, every single time they surprise me, and I don't even know why I allow them to surprise me like this.
I don't know why.
All right,
you're surprised
AJ,
by
you
their
shouldn't care
behavior.
about that.
That's what we're doing today.
That's what we're doing.
That's
today.
what we're doing today.
Exactly what we're doing today.
Oh, me. Oh,
Rhett Bryan will
my.
join us in the next hour.
I'm excited to hear Rhett's
And
observations from Camp 2.
Within the hour. You said in the next hour?
Did I say next hour?
Yeah, you did.
Gosh.
Hey, you
Too
did.
busy trying to put Boyle in the Slack.
He does look like
Do not look like a.
Cousin Tower says he runs his day off of my time, so I've thrown him off.
Cousin
Cousin Tower said that.
Cousin Tower. Oh, by the way, did we announce who won the Kevin Hart tickets yesterday too?
No, we didn't.
That was yesterday. Where'd you put it at, Shay?
Good setup. Robert Tigg.
Robert Tigg won the Kevin Hart tickets yesterday. Congratulations. That's actually going to be a really good show.
Agreed.
Tried to get in there. Didn't get in there. It's all good though.
Let that
Apparently he's
Tussin
doing
get in
another
there,
show
boy.
next. He's doing a show again next month too.
I knew they had added a second one.
In Nashville? Wow. He's probably going to record his show here. It'll be interesting if he does that. Because, they select certain cities in which you go live and record it for his DVD release. Look at Nashville. Continue just pushing the envelope for a non-entertainment city, Jay.
It's what it does, man. What it do.
The Indy racing this weekend.
Yep.
I would try to stop by, but that's going to be hectic and chaotic to do that.
I can do things about once every couple months, and last weekend was the weekend where I
You checked it off the box right there.
That's about all I'm gonna be able to do for right now.
But people that come visit here can't get enough of it. So it's interesting that we're here. Like, yeah, I'm okay on every weekend. Even Buck shut it down, if I'm not mistaken, for the summer.
Now that's some.
At least he alluded to that he was shutting it down. But hey, yes.
So that means Dara shut it down.
Is that who it was? Dara shut it down.
That's correct.
That's usually how it rolls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hadn't heard the dog in a while. Oh, but here we are, Jason, in the middle of training camp. Dolphins pretty much lost their footing, pretty much tried to shut down Flores' lawsuit. Titans yesterday looked good, had a couple scuffles, mostly a young guy's day yesterday for the most part. When I pulled up at practice, it was the young unit that was working for the most part on the field. Saw a little bit of Jamarco Jones still out there, and not surprisingly, but I guess it's Aaron Brewer's job to kind of lose. I know yesterday we questioned Ron about what he thought because he was listed as
very small.
Yeah, very small, 6'1", 274, and I was concerned. That was one of the main reasons. I was like, okay, I've got to kind of see what this looks like in person. And apparently he's holding weight at about 290. So he's bulked up, and that's muscle mass for the most part. And he's super athletic. And you talk to people around that situation, it'd be interesting to see what Rhett has to say about Aaron Brewer also at that left guard position, because it's a position of need. You got to figure out what's going on. You got a guy in between Taylor and Ben Jones that is a newbie. He will be a new starter. And just watching what that's going to look like, and specifically, I forget what days that they're going to be going up against Arizona and Tampa, but these joint practices are going to be huge for a guy like him. It's going to be huge for a guy like Dylan Radins, which surprisingly we haven't spoken a lot about as of late, which is a good thing for him. So I'm excited to kind of see how those two develop when they do joint practices. I'll be first on record to kind of say I hated joint practices, probably more as a vet, because I was just like, why do we have to do this? All this is going to turn into is a ego stroke of who can best who in practice. But I've learned Vrabel's not a fan of the fighting. He's a fan of efficiency. That's one thing that they say he's been preaching this year in training camp is we need to work efficiently. So fighting against the Arizona Cardinals or fighting against the Tampa Bay Bucks is something that will not be tolerated, although there will be the little dust-ups that happens on the field. But as a vet, I hated the joint practices because it became so much of an ego stroke. For young guys, though, it is a great measuring stick to see where you are as a pro and how you will compete even in a controlled environment. You go to the games I always say was really easier because there were so many different variables. You didn't know what we were going to do. It wasn't against your own teammates and stuff like that. They're going to put pressure on those two dudes moving forward, and I want to see how they stand up. And, again, I continue to brag on what Kyle Phillips has looked like. We've heard the reports as far as Traylon Burks goes, and you brought up the point too, Jay, is Hassan Haskins, him at running back. If that young fellow can come in and spare Derrick Henry.
Yeah, if he can just
if
he can take just a little of that load off of Derrick Henry's shoulders and be – I mean, because he'd be asked to do it differently. It won't be what Deontay Foreman was asked to do last year, which was to basically be Derrick. This is a guy that needs to complement Derrick.
Yeah.
He needs to be the fantasy handcuff for Derrick Henry, where you always have his backup. Like, that needs to be a guy that you can look at. I know there's other dudes, too. Like, I know Hilliard played fairly well last year, too, and all that. But the guy that you really want to see emerge, and every time you read about something positive, again, the word I'm going to continue to use
is
encouraged.
Encouraged
about Traylon Burks. Encouraged about Roger McCreary. Encouraged about Hassan Haskins. Encouraged about Racey McMath because he had a great day yesterday.
You're missing another one.
Encouraged about Bobby Trees.
And Ryan Tannehill.
Sure.
Yes,
had another good day yesterday.
And like you said, we're not doing a tracker of interceptions and completions, although that is out there.
Sure it is.
But if we
A lot of things out there we're not going to
is.
do.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Be encouraged. That is a great way to kind of put it, Jay.
It's a way to feel positive without being like dumb about it.
Yeah.
It's not even a pessimistic thing. Encourage just means you have a good feeling, but you're also measured in your approach.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good way to be right now. There are many encouraging things about the offense, and you were already encouraged about the defense.
Yep.
If the offense can prove those encouragements properly in the season, you're going to be all right if you're a Titans fan.
Especially at the wide receiver position.
That's right. That's 1,000% right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying we'll come back with Rhett. We're talking plenty more of the two-tone blue. When we come back, J. Mart and Ramon, I bet he'll have an answer to the best berry.
If I know Rhett, I got my answer.
No, he's not doing that. He'll do that all fair. It's J. Mart and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone.
Here comes Henry to the left with a stiff arm, throws a man down, and goes out of bounds at the 40. Josh Norman, get you some. Oh, my.
Okay, Josh Norman. That's Thanksgiving dinner right there for you, early.
Not Thanksgiving yet. It's August 3rd, but that is still the gift that keeps on giving. So you can still be thankful for that moment as a Titans fan. Welcome back, J. Mart and Ramon. All Four Seasons Garage Doors, making it possible for us to be here yet another hour and a half today, and then 4 more tomorrow, and then 4 more on Friday, I assume.
Hey, now.
Ramon Foster, Jonathan Schaefer. Rhett Bryan of Titans Radio is here. Rhett, what's going on?
It's training camp.
It is camp.
Here we are. But, yeah, they're rolling through this thing. 2 padded practices now. And, I like your definition of where we are in this. You're hopeful. You like what you see. So far, so good. I mean, really. I mean, they haven't hit anybody else. And to your point, I heard you earlier, Ramon, these joint practices coming up. Honestly, I think we've seen that shift from outside of the rookies getting what they need in terms of a game format and a preseason game. These are more important.
Oh, yeah.
This is where you get the quality work in. And I think it's interesting, too, because there's a couple of scrums yesterday quickly broken up. I mean, that's the quickest way to find your way out of practice. Mike Vrabel doesn't have time for it because they've got work to do. But you can tell that, the heat has cranked up in the intensity. And, these guys here in a couple of days are going to be tired of hitting each other.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be a fine line to watch. But I like what I see from a lot of rookies and people we need to come on and, do good things. Caleb Farley, I like what I'm seeing there.
Yeah.
I like, and Coach Mack and I watched practice from up top yesterday.
Okay.
Just because we like to see the purview. And watching Aaron Brewer at left guard and Dylan Radins at right tackle, they did just fine against the ones.
You saw it, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's why I was kind of telling Jay a little bit. I was like, yesterday we had a big conversation about it because you wait for updates, and apparently the Titans site hasn't updated his updated weight as far as Aaron Brewer goes. 6'1", 274 is what they have on TennesseeTitans.com. And I was a little worried, right? I'll be honest. But talking to people around him and guys that's been in there, it's like, he's holding like 290. And he holds that throughout the season too, Rhett. That's going to be huge for him. If he has that attitude that Vrabel seems to love, he's made the strides this offseason. And this was the other part too. There was an emphasis yesterday on young guy work. And Aaron Brewer wasn't with young guy work yesterday.
No, he was not.
That says what, Rhett?
It's his job to lose. You said it last segment, and I would agree. I think Dylan Radins is probably your right tackle, and I think Aaron Brewer's probably your left guard, barring something unforeseen.
So the 5, and I asked you, and you said, yep, that's what it looks like to me is you've got Taylor, you've got Aaron, you've got Ben, you've got Dylan, you've got Nate.
Yep.
Petit Frere, future guy, but a raw guy who's still learning the ropes and still getting his – and I think the one thing that we read when we talked about it pre-draft is his footwork's not there right now.
Yeah, that's normal. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's going to take a little bit of time, but I bet you he gets on the field this year, some for this team probably. But those 5 guys, we knew it was going to shake out, but it's actually a good thing to kind of feel like you know who the 5 are.
Yeah, especially this year.
And this early on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not a bad – it's a good result to be able to say, all right, this guy's clearly above Jamarco Jones.
You don't want to be sitting here 2 weeks from now and playing 2 preseason games going, what, we still have questions. Hey, it's gone to the point where to talk what you're saying about Nicholas Petit Frere, first of all, man, that's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Very bright young man. And he spoke to me after practice yesterday just about – how thankful he is for the work that he's getting, whether it's with the twos or whoever. And I think he's going to be a pretty quick study. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
And it's so much to the point that I see the 5 out there, and I can almost see where backups are going to start being in this thing. Like, Corey Levin is a guy that I would put money on will have himself a roster spot in this because he can play backup center, backup left guard, backup right guard.
Wow.
He's smarter and wiser, better body shape than when he was here 3-4 years ago. You can tell he went and spent some time other places. He grew up.
Yeah.
Not that he needed to grow. I don't mean it in a maturity way,
No,
but you know,
that's a great point.
you become a man at some point, right?
But you realize, and I heard Max say this. We talked. This is a doggone business.
Yep.
Like, that's what happened is what you're saying.
You know it better than anybody.
Oh.
Every year somebody was coming in to take your spot because
100%.
guess what? Old Ramon, well, we didn't draft him. We just brought him off the street.
So it really is a thing that if you're an undrafted guy, you're a late drafted guy, you're competing for your job every year.
Every year, Jay.
Because the assumption is still, well, there's a reason we didn't draft this guy.
There is no reason for you to get comfortable. And that's why, and listen, there are exceptions. And the elite and the greats and the Hall of Fames are the exceptions. But I will always contend that an undrafted or a late round guy will fight as hard as anybody you'll see out there because he has to.
He has to. Even right now, what are we speaking about? I mentioned, I'm guilty of it already. I can kind of see Nicholas Petit-Frere going inside and moving Aaron. Like, I'm already moving Aaron Jones Aaron Brewer from his job. I'm already moving him from his job, and he's barely even getting it right now. Like, because the draft pick got to find his way somewhere.
But here's the thing with Aaron Brewer is I think everyone has underestimated the size of the fight in the dog.
And that's where the undrafted, undersized aspect can play.
That undersized stuff, he said, listen, I know that I'm going to hear that my whole career.
Yep.
And he's using it as fuel.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, he's undrafted now. This is third year there. He knows where to line up. He knows what to do. He knows where he's supposed to be, and so he can afford to play fast and aggressive because he's been there. And that's the thing you see differently. And he's played, he's gotten some playing time in this in those first 2 years. Now he is where the wisdom comes in, and that fire in his belly it's like, all right, tell me I'm undersized. I don't care.
Yeah. When you get to that point where you just don't care anymore, I am who I am.
Great attitude.
That's the spot you want to be at. Like we were speaking about I hate to go to AJ point real quick, but what AJ? You know what I'm saying? Like,
just let it go.
I am who the hell I am.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
I honestly, and I heard you guys talking about him, and I'm telling you, and I'm serious when I say this, and I hope that I'm wrong, but with the mental things that he went through last season, I worry about it. He doesn't have thick enough skin in a market like Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you right now, the minute he doesn't come out there and ball, or the minute that he's shelved with any kind of injury, he's going to wish he was right back here in 2 seconds.
But even through that, what I was saying, Shafe asked me earlier, what do you mean by you feel sorry for him? Even if he doesn't ball, though, Rhett, and have a couple shaky start, you're still important. You still are that dude, or you can be. He'll talk himself out of a really good position just because the rabbit ears, everything pops up around him, but not to hamper on him anymore. But the guy that's replacing him, Traylon, you think we'd see that much from him this soon?
Well, here's the thing. Every time he makes a catch in practice and he shakes off a defender and some good ones.
Yeah.
Like, I look at Coach Mack and I'm like, it's a shame. I wish he could catch a ball better for a guy that's overweight and asthmatic. He looks terrible.
Yeah.
Being completely facetious, obviously. But I'm just like, early word.
Yeah.
Good start.
Yeah.
Encouraging.
As Jay had the word.
And here's the thing, Mike Keith and I did an Official Titans podcast a few weeks ago about here's a handful of people that need to have a first good 2 weeks of training camp. He was obviously one on the list.
Caleb was one, right?
And both of those guys, you can check that in the box now and go, yep, they have started off just exactly like they needed to. I think Ryan Tannehill has done the same thing.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry's just Derrick Henry. I mean, he's the anomaly in all of this. But Roger McCreary.
I had no idea. Well, he spoke about this yesterday, right, Jay? Like, I didn't think there was a need to go get him because I was like, well, you got Caleb, we got see what that's going to, you got Christian, we got Molden.
And it felt like it was an overdraft. It was like, why did you take him there?
I was thinking receiver again.
Yeah, I mean, there were different.
You could never have enough corners, though.
Well, I mean, I thought about Malik, remember?
Well, yeah.
I said, remember, take Malik, all this kind of stuff. Oh, you're trading up, you're going to take Malik. So they take McCreary, and it didn't seem like it was a big need or what exactly was going on.
Right.
And then I said this yesterday, Rhett. You can never overdraft the right guy.
Man.
If he turns out to be the right guy, nobody's going to complain about him going to the second round, including me. If he balls out and everything you read is positive, everything I see is, again, very encouraging right now about Roger McCreary.
Encouragement on J. Mart and Ramon. No, I mean, you're right. Encouragement is the right word, and I agree. But Roger McCreary, I will say this. I don't have it on authority at all, but I feel like had they not traded AJ and they only had one pick at 26, I think they would have taken Roger McCreary at 26.
At first, in the first round?
I do.
Well, okay, let's say this. We didn't speak about Todd Downing post-practice interview he had. What did he say about this kid? He does not look like a rookie, or he's not a rookie is what he said.
No, you talking about Todd Downing or Shane
Todd
Bowen?
Downing. Todd Downing said this, didn't he, yesterday? No, Shane
Bowen.
Shane Bowen. My bad, I'm flipped.
That's okay.
Shane Bowen said he's not a rookie. I'm like, this is kind of early, coach.
He doesn't look like he's shaken by anything. He is, and look, when you got a Traylon Burks to go up against.
Yeah, daily.
And
they're doing that on purpose, too.
And, and they're working Traylon a lot at the X position.
Yeah.
But that serves as good stuff because, I mean, Roger McCreary saw it every week in the SEC.
So are we still looking at McCreary as potentially a dime guy where you've got Molden as your nickel and Roger's coming in there? Or is Roger competing with Caleb?
When a Roger,
I don't know, Jay.
Let me say this: in college, Roger played a lot of outside. He did play some inside.
Yeah.
With the way I see this kid so far, I think you can plug him up wherever you want him.
Oh. Hey, let's go to that hard question again.
I mean, encouraging, right?
Encouraging on both of them, Caleb and Roger. Jay just brought up
Caleb
that point.
is just different, dude. You see how long that guy is?
I saw.
And he can it's like he can go around the corner and just go swipe and PBU.
So, again, I'm not putting you under the gun, but this is a great topic. Jay, he presented us with this. What are we saying for Roger McCreary and what's his name? Not Elijah. Caleb. Is Roger outside at CB2? Or is that Caleb Farley's job at CB2 and he's the dime or nickel as far as Roger
is he one rib?
Well,
one rib.
Is he CB4?
Yeah, CB4. Yeah, CB. Hey, I'm savvy, right?
I saw what you did there,
and I like it.
If Caleb is up and doing things, I mean, yeah, maybe Roger is inside. We're all going to find out. We're going to see.
This is what training camp is, right?
I'll say that again. Encouraging that these are the topics we're discussing.
Sounds like encouragement
who
berries is what his
job?
favorite berry is. Encouragement berries.
Encouragement berries. Or if you have one of these, an Eric berry, that would be even better.
And an Eric berry is a mighty fine berry.
That's a mighty fine berry.
I'm a blueberry guy, by the way.
You're a blueberry
number.
Yep.
I love blueberries. And I love blueberry flavored stuff.
That's just so hit and miss.
I feel like
the strawberry, I'm with you. And blackberries, I'm with you.
I mean, I'm a berry fan.
If I'm going to 3, that's the 3.
Raspberry's going to get knocked out, but raspberry can be undervalued at times.
Never been a raspberry guy.
But it's not ever going to be.
Can I think what gets me with fruit get me because I don't think it's supposed to be tart. I grab a blueberry and I'm like, yeah, it's supposed to have a little bit of sweetness, maybe a tart finish. Then I get a super sour one. I'm like, why'd you do this to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm hit or miss on blueberries.
Well, it depends on the ripeness. I mean, that's.
Well, how do you know?
If you know, you know.
See, and that's the answer I wasn't looking for. I didn't want that answer from you.
I know
that's the one problem with that's the biggest problem with raspberries. They don't last. Raspberries, you got about 2 days if you take them home, and they got
when they're ripe.
Really?
They go south.
Is that what girls call guys? You're a raspberry. You know that? You set me up for that one, Jay. My bad.
I just don't know where to take it.
It just don't last. It's just
I don't know where to take. What are you seeing out of Haskins, Rhett? Because I saw positive things said by Jimmy, and that's a guy I'm paying very close attention to. Because
you should.
You don't have Foreman, and you need somebody that can help you keep Derrick Henry from having 500 carries. This year.
Let me say this: Hassan Haskins, first of all, really nice young man. Physical runner, bigger than you realize. I mean, he's 6'2", 228. Now, we're used to seeing the monster, 22.
Well, he don't look that next to Derrick.
But he's a big dude.
Yeah, he is.
And He can catch it out of the backfield. He can block. Again, encouraging. I like, and look, when they drafted him, I'm like, I like this pick. I like this pick a lot. Broke records at Michigan and voted the toughest guy on his team in 2021. I mean, he's physical, so
He's got speed too.
Yep.
That's the other part behind it. You see him in those practices getting hit, banged up. He hit the edge, and he's got great contact balance and like breakaway speed too.
Yep.
So
let me tell you something else too. Notice how a lot of these guys we're mentioning are rookies.
Yep.
John Robinson may have hit on a really good rookie class.
Possible. I mean, we'll have to see what it looks like
That's
when
right.
it's on the
Yeah,
field.
It's
man.
encouraging right now. We're in encouragement phase.
is that the word of
that's
care?
what's definitely mine.
But we're talking, think about this. We're talking about Traylon Burks. We're talking about Roger McCrary. And a guy hadn't mentioned yet is Chigo Concord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or Kyle Phillips. I haven't talked about either one of them yet.
I've been
today
championing him. I almost
Chig
want to
is
start
going
a
to contribute.
fan club with Kyle too. Go ahead with
Chig is going to contribute.
Yeah.
Get ready. Mm-hmm. You talking about a guy doesn't play. Another guy. This is a guy on offense. Doesn't seem like a rookie.
Yeah.
Confident, building practice to practice, knows what he's doing.
Ball
just looks
player.
better. Yeah.
Just a ball
And
player.
he's rocked up, big, thick dude. He looks like
He
a
is.
combination between Delaney and Jonnu.
I thought he was going to be taller. He was 6'2", 6'3".
Chig he's 6'3".
He's 6'3", but he looks. I'll say he looks shorter because he's got muscle mass. Jay, you know how you see
He's
those
thick
guys?
with 2 C's.
Yeah. how
I mean, the lowers seriously. He's
thick
he's got ankles and calves that look like fence posts, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a firm foundation.
Yeah, for sure.
615-737-1045. You want to jump into the discussion more with Rhett to finish the hour, more Titans, and other things happen around the league as well. Luckily, the Titans don't have those kind of problems. It's J Mart and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone.
1045 The Zone, excited to present our first hashtag for the fam hangout as J. Martin Ramon. We invite you to join the fam as we hang out at Bold Patriot Brewing inside the L&O Market off Charlotte Avenue for the Titans at Ravens preseason game coming up Thursday of next week. Enjoy delicious craft beer from Bold Patriot Food by O'Charlie's. For more info, 1045thezone.com/event is where you can go to find out.
Thank you, Mr. Schaefer. Booger Red.
Is that bloody?
I'm not calling you that. I'm saying you came back with Limp Bizkit, and that's the biker taker. And
Yes,
he
that is
called
Biker
himself
Taker.
Booger Red.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of stupid.
I was going to rhyme and say 2 Foot Fred, but anyway. Booger Red
Speaking
and
of
2 Foot
which,
Fred.
that's better
what
than
she
Drop
said.
Dead Fred, which is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Ooh.
I liked that movie as a kid.
We went and saw it at the theater. I was like, this is
I'm going to tell you,
I was a kid.
as a
Thought it was
kid.
horrendous.
the worst movie I may have seen in my life, and certainly in the last 20 years, is Midsummer.
I never heard of it.
Midsommer
Yes.
horror film.
Midsommar.
I did not see it.
Yeah, well, you did yourself a great favor. That's the end of that story.
Worst movie I've ever seen. We walked out of it. My mom was like, I'll take you to McDonald's if we can leave now. When I was a kid. And she was right. I wanted to get out of there too. Leonard Part 6.
Oh,
That's the worst movie
Bill
of all
Cosby,
time.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the worst
They
movie of all
redid
time.
Midsummer in 2019.
Hmm?
Did they redid Midsummer?
Is it a remake?
Yeah, that's the one with Florence Pugh or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Well, Rhett, you say you hate it, but it's got an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes, man.
Yeah. That's some 83% wrong people.
Oh, that's cold blooded. Worst movie I've seen just in general is Hoffa with Travolta.
Gotti.
Gotti is by.
I never saw that, so
I
I'm
didn't
glad
see
I
it because
Don't.
I had friends
Listen
in the
to
critical circles. They sent it to us. They wanted to give us like all this press stuff for it and stuff. I'm like, all right, you're offering me too much. First
Right.
of all, to review
Who are you
this.
trying to sell, me or you?
It was Cheeks.
It
Okay?
was from what I heard, horrendous.
Cheeks. You hear me?
Hey, by the way, we can leave now. I'll take you to McDonald's. You know what I miss about McDonald's? And there ain't much. They just don't have them anymore. McDonald Land cookies. Those were the best.
The one with the characters.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
those little butter
absolutely.
cookies. Oh, my gosh.
Basically animal crackers.
Ooh.
Like on a next level.
Yeah, better animal crackers.
Next level.
I mean, I loved animal crackers.
What I missed back in the day when I didn't care and was ready to die at 35.
Okay.
McStuffins,
What's
which
Oh,
they
yeah.
had when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
What's that?
It was like a big calzone that McDonald's sold. They had pepperoni pizza or steak and cheese. Would go
Stop.
inside this deal. It was about as unhealthy as you could get.
Hold up. Did they really have this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I had
man.
no idea.
Listen, there's a rabbit hole you can go down that is full of either extinct things from their menu or failed experiments from their menu throughout the 70s.
Remember the
80s,
salad
and
shaker?
90s.
Yeah, I remember. I thought the
Yeah,
salad shaker
that
was
went
pretty
over
good.
like a lead balloon.
Yeah. I thought they were pretty good, man. The salads. I
And
don't
they had
know
the
why.
McFresh where all your toppings stayed in one side of the styrofoam deal and your hot
Outta here.
hamburger stayed in the other.
They really had a McStuffin.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure they did.
This wasn't regional. This wasn't regional. This was.
No, I mean, I don't know. The region I was in had it, so I just
well,
assumed.
Rhett said he had it, so it had to have been
Yeah, I mean,
here.
it was a long time ago. So
Get out of here.
Some stuff is test market areas
Yeah,
that
yeah.
didn't work too.
But I don't think this was. I remember seeing
No,
this
I think
on
that-
ads and all that. I mean, the very best like long-term thing at McDonald's. I don't know where this came from, but it's their vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
When you can get it, it's phenomenal. Like
Yeah.
I used to just stop at McDonald's.
Our machine's broken.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called you don't want to fix it.
Yeah,
No doubt. Rhett, I made the comment about, I told you I almost want to champion Kyle Phillips a little bit, man.
Yeah.
I saw him and I see what everybody can see about him. Like, he's smaller next to everybody else.
Oh yeah, he's smaller.
But he's a ball player, Rhett. From what
He's
I've
got
seen.
a gear too.
I'm not trying to say, hey, here's the next great slide or nothing
No,
like that.
you're encouraged.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I'm encouraged by it. Are
No.
you with what he's done?
Well,
his
sure.
athletic ability. He's been able to catch the ball, take hits, get out of breaks.
I would love him to be a returner. I would love him to be a slot receiver. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm encouraged.
That's what I was thinking too, man. Just encouraged by. I like this word of training camp so far. A little cool moment yesterday, and it's good to have those in camp. You want to talk about Big Jeff versus Malik?
Apparently
Malik made a smart business decision. Even though Jeff really can't do anything to that red jersey.
He wasn't
That's a big no-no.
You need to have those moments in camp, and Malik played that up right, man. I don't know if Jeff was serious about trying to grab him, because he did what most big dudes do in those situations. If you hadn't seen Jim White tweet it out, Jeff got flat-footed, and his hands went wide.
Yeah, he's going to swarm.
I was like,
He's going to swarm tackle.
that's the worst position to be in right now, Jeff.
And that's the other thing. Big Jeff, he's Big Jeffing things out there.
You see the Brinks truck outside?
I thought it was for him, but there was only one of them. And that's when I realized, no, they're just bringing stuff for the ATM inside.
Yeah, that's an ATM inside?
Yeah, Pinnacle is the official bank of the Titans. There's a Pinnacle ATM in there.
I'll tell you what, I'm lucky we didn't have one because of all those gambling debts. Oh, my God.
But no, a couple of us were out there waiting to go in yesterday, and they're like, I wonder if this is for Big Jet. We were all joking. I said, nope, there's only one of them. There's 2 or 3 Loomis trucks, then we know it's for Jeff.
So, as I know we're done with the hour here, what do you think the NFL is going to do over the next – they've got about a day now to make
for
their
Deshaun
decision
Watson?
on Deshaun.
You know, the odd thing about all that is that, you know, they set this up so that Goodell wouldn't be the bad guy. Now he's going to continue to be the bad guy because I think he'll tack something onto this. Listen, regardless of where you are in this thing, as the father of a 20-year-old daughter, 6 games ain't enough.
Yeah.
60 games ain't enough.
I mean, it's just when you line it up with the other things. I mean, Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, has been suspended 6 games.
Yep.
DeAndre Hopkins for PEDs, 6 games. And let's not even get into
Calvin
Ridley and the rest. And it's just, you know, I feel terrible because there are young women out there who are professionals, who are massage therapists, the real kind, the therapeutic kind, who have probably had their careers derailed or have been into therapy. And I mean, it's awful when I think of it. And, you know, I think because there's not a criminal part of this in terms of something that went to criminal trial or whatever, that probably has framed this the way it has, the way Sue Robinson had. But I look for it to get longer. I'll answer it that way.
That'll make him the good guy as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you said it the other day when the news came down. This news was not good for your female fan base. You're telling them they don't matter. Yeah. And if you do this right and you extend it, whatever that is, I think you restore some of that.
In short, what you're saying is, hey, we love you, keep buying our merchandise, but that quarterback, though, it's the meme.
Makes us a lot of money.
And here's the other thing about that quarterback. That quarterback hadn't played over 2 years. Mm-hmm. He better be ready to go when it's time to run out of that tunnel.
Yeah. Don't let him be mediocre.
That's why I wanted to go with it a little bit about that, because he played in a team that played behind a lot. And I know he won big in college, but what has that organization done with him other than him get a lot of sacks? I mean, a lot of stats.
Yeah.
I mean, in short,
I'm not undermining his
right now
talent,
he's
though.
Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, well, yep.
He did it a lot with DeAndre Hopkins, who was then traded to Arizona.
Yeah.
So I just, you know.
But they played behind a lot.
Yes, they did.
I mean, they were a 4-win team when he had his, nearly 5,000 yards season.
He had
2
over
years
5,
ago.
I think. Yeah.
We'll come back. 4th hour's coming up. We got Buck coming in because he's actually in studio today.
Is he?
Yeah, which means we
There's
actually
no
have to get out of here.
No
after the
practice
show.
today.
No practice today.
They go back out tomorrow morning at 9:30.
It's a cushy world they live in.
It's a good thing. Good thing means no injuries today.
CBA.
Wish Denver didn't have practice yesterday.
Yeah, tough day for you boys.
We'll come back. Rhett, appreciate you, brother.
Glad to do it.
Nice glasses.
Thank you.
I like those.
4th hour coming up. Jay Martin Ramon, 104.5 The Zone.
F the Colts.
9:02, good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com Sports Desk. A busy day prior to the trade deadline in Major League Baseball yesterday. San Diego Padres have acquired superstar outfielder Juan Soto and first baseman Josh Bell from the Washington Nationals in exchange for 6 players. The Braves dealt former closer Will Smith, who helped the team to the World Series championship last year, to the Houston Astros for right-hander Jake Odorizzi, giving Atlanta a 6th starting pitcher for the final 2 months of the regular season. Braves won yesterday 13-1 over Philly, 2.5 games behind the Mets for first place in the NL East. Hall of Fame broadcaster Vin Scully, who entertained and informed Dodgers fans in Brooklyn and L.A. for 67 years. He passed away on Tuesday night. He was 94. And the NFL is stripping the Miami Dolphins of its 2023 first-round pick, among other disciplinary measures for violating league policies relating to the integrity of the game. The league found the Dolphins violated the anti-tampering policy on 3 occasions from 2019 to 2022 in conversations with Tom Brady and also the agent for then Saints coach Sean Payton. Boys in gold in action tonight late out on the West Coast. Nashville SC at Portland Timbers at 9:30. Ron Foundation Repair and Waterproofing needs. Visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening? 4th hour. The hashtag fastest 4 hours in radio is upon you, upon us. Not the 5th hour. As I call it, hour 2, hour 3.
That's all right. I got the times on our first tweet of the day screwed up for Rhett and Buck. So
Did you really?
Yeah, I screwed it up. I had them an hour early. So that probably screwed Jason up too. I'll take the blame. It's my fault.
I wasn't trying to put it on you.
No. I'm taking it. I didn't say you were trying to put it on.
Ramon Foster, Jonathan Schaefer, I'm Jason Martin.
I drink my beers.
Buck Reising will be in the next segment hanging out with us. Jeff Darlington did say yesterday that he is told if the NFL appeals, Deshaun's people are following suit immediately.
Wow. They basically got him right now.
At that point, is that enough to just back you off if you're the NFL and then basically say, hey, we're going to do it, but he's going to file suit. We got to worry about the season. I don't know. We'll know. Tony Busby has scheduled a press conference for tomorrow. He said he wasn't going to say anything, but he is. He's going to update the situation regarding the Texans and Watson and comment on the NFL's discipline. By that point, by the time he runs that presser tomorrow, I think it's right around lunchtime, I think the 72 hours are over. So he's going to know before he starts talking whether the NFL's appealed or not. Wow. So he's either going to maul them or he's going to sing their praises for asking for more. I'm glad it's a 72-hour, not a 72-day.
Right.
So we're going to know whether or not they've actually got sacked or not.
Like the NCAA
by that point.
does. Yeah.
This is a big moment for the NFL in terms of, are we taking a stand?
Which way do y'all see it going?
They're not.
Believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 50-50. I don't want to be so cynical all the time.
Yeah.
I do believe they wanted more.
I was talking to some folks. It was in a group chat. We were discussing it. I was just like, the way I see it right now, Deshaun, when the NFLPA said they won't contest it, won't appeal it and everything, I was like, well, maybe Deshaun's camp is going to be very favorable for him, or Deshaun's camp's in a situation, look, whatever they give us, we can start our rehab campaign right now. We can just leave it whenever you come back, because he will come back. And I knew it was going to be somewhat favorable for him as far as the amount of games. When the PA said that, I was just like, Deshaun and his camp going to try to champion this way, like try to rehab his image before he gets back into the lineup. The way the the way I'm looking at it is from the NFL side of it, I kind of say to myself, well, for them, if they ask for more, add more, then this drags on. This is an ugly topic to talk about. Remember when it first broke, and everybody that I knew, even the major networks what were we doing, Jay? We were tiptoeing around how to talk about this because it was so much. It was a lot.
It was a lot.
And now the NFL's in a position to where somebody else gave down the punishment, and so it's not on them. They can just leave this. We'll be mad. People will be upset. But what was said yesterday, Jay, you'll come right back to the door when kickoff happens.
That's right. I said it. I admit it. Like, I wish that we all collectively could tell the NFL to stick it for a year and say, look, you're going to hurt because of this.
Yep.
But I know better. And it's not just because I have this job. It's because we love football too much. It's easy to say you should boycott when you don't have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
And also when you realize that your boycott, unless it's accompanied by 3-4 million other people, isn't going to matter enough to the bottom line to harm them. So this is something I had not seen. I just saw this. Somebody at Pro Football Network. Legal sources and legal experts predict the NFL will exercise its right to file an appeal, that Goodell will significantly increase the punishment levied against Deshaun Watson.
What?
This source at Pro Football Network, or the sources to Pro Football Network, one source expressed a strong belief the NFL is going to bow to public pressure, that Goodell or another arbiter are going to augment the punishment imposed by Robinson, perhaps suspending an additional 4 to 6 games with a multi-million-dollar fine, up to and including the entire season, potentially.
I'll be shocked.
I would be stunned if they did that. As happy as I would be to see it, I would be stunned if it's more than 2 games. If they try 2 games, I think they might be able to pull that off. That's a big, big swing if they go that route.
Yeah, that's going for the gusto right there. I just don't. I think they're throwing it out there just to see what we would accept. We'll if they do nothing, fine. If they do something, Deshaun will appeal and work through this whole process again. And then he plays week 1. How is the NFL going to market that? How are they going to market that? I love to see, if I don't have it pulled up now, what their primetime games are, because that's the factor in it all.
Well, but he'll be playing, but he'll be viewed as the villain, because then the NFL can say they're taking the high road and this is just the process. And Deshaun will have all the negativity pointing toward him.
What?
So even though he'll be on the field, that's how they're going to spin it.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then does the Haslam's ownership and the Browns do the same thing that the Texans did? Or they say, screw it. We want to win. And even worse, Jay, listeners, what if they actually make a deep playoff run with this guy and this case going on right now? What are the NFL supposed to do about that? Because he can't play. Even though I said, last hour, he had some situations in which Houston was down a lot. He got them back in the games because they were behind. The team was playing softer coverage. If you know the game, that's a part of it too is, man, you get a lot of passing yards. Yeah, it's because y'all are trailing. Nobody's really worried about you catching up and beating them. Wow. Thursday. Get here. Maybe we can put him on Bleep You Aaron Rodgers at a certain point, Jay.
Oh, we're definitely. The NFL's on Bleep You Aaron. This whole thing has been such a disaster.
Jimmy Haslam and the Cleveland Browns have pretty much said, we're playing Deshaun. Doesn't matter. We're going to go do our thing. They've been this way from Jump Street when they offered this guy way above market value.
Yeah, man.
In terms of the money, and also made it all guaranteed. They have been openly defiant from the very beginning. And for Jimmy Haslam and some of his business practices, which are well documented, this type of defiance and disregard for the public has been well established.
Everything's based on precedent, right? It's based on things that have happened in the past, not based on number of accusers or any of these things. I've said before, precedent is there to be broken when information changes.
Yeah.
History in this country dictates precedent is a lazy way to not do the right thing. When you get rid of precedent 9 times out of 10, you've done it for a reason. It's the same thing as when your opinion turns out to be wrong, you change it. It's not you backtracking. It's not you double talking. It's you growing, evolving. Your position should change as you get more information, as you talk to more people, as you learn more, as time passes. That's why hindsight is 20/20.
Mm-hmm.
Whole idea is eventually you get past it and you know what should have been true.
Clearer, yeah.
It's the exact same thing. So don't look at precedent as the only thing. Precedent, again, is used by lazy people to do lazy things. Steve on line 1. Steve?
What's up, Steve?
Hey, guys. Love the show. So I wonder if that perhaps they went a little light on Deshaun because he'd already sat out a year. Now, I know he wasn't suspended, but let's face it. If he hadn't had this legal issue going on, he would have played all last year. The Texans would have had him out on the field. So I wonder about that. And also, I hope the dude's getting help because, we've all forgotten he had another lawsuit about touching the Uber driver maybe a year or two before all this came out. So anyway, I just wonder what your thoughts on all that is, and maybe that's why they went a little light on him since he's been sitting a year already. Thank you.
Well, there's one thing about that, Steve. He was holding out because he didn't want to be there. He was trying to force a trade. He was trying to get out. We heard Miami. We heard all this stuff. He wanted out. Denver was mentioned. Remember I said I was going to change my kid's name to Deshaun? I was going to name if it was a boy, I was going to name him Deshaun. Glad that didn't happen. New information. Precedent would dictate I would change the child's name. Not going to happen.
But Steve brought up a good point, too, is like get the guy help. Steve, we say this, and we spoke about this a lot yesterday, man. The NFL is all about suspending guys, getting them away. But in my opinion, and I know it's an illegal substance, but marijuana with these guys. We want to go get help for a guy now, and true enough, maybe Deshaun needs a little bit of guidance and help.
Well, I think he got it. I think that's part of what he's had to do over the last few months with the Browns, even.
But even still, it's so many guys that's gotten harsher penalties and suspended for a year because of weed, because of something that may have actually helped them. And in some cities are legal. And I know federally is a different conversation to be had, but the NFL want to talk about this situation and parade this guy back into the lineup while also just getting rid of a bunch of guys that they should have guided through. That's the one thing that I've always disliked.
Why, though? Because those have been collectively bargained and this one isn't. That's the difference. It doesn't matter the morality aspect of it or just the value judgment from public perception. Those things have been collectively bargained. This is not the same situation. Yeah. This process has been collectively bargained, and this is where we're at. And this is basically what the judge said, that the behavior was egregious, but then basically thumbed the nose to the NFL by saying, yeah, you want to do this because of public pressure when your punishment for so many things over so many years has been so random.
Mm-hmm. And now you want me to be the reason, or you want me to be the level-headed to get that makes this right for y'all? Yeah. That's okay. Let me ask you this before we're going to, if Roger Goodell was still in full power, judge, jury, executioner, in your humble opinion, fellas, how much do you think Roger Goodell would have handed down to Deshaun Watson in the old ways of doing this without an arbitrator?
Here's my problem, Ramon. I have no idea.
That's the issue,
because the punishments have been so inconsistent when it comes to things over the years that you have no idea. I originally thought before everything came out and all the cases were filed, it was going to probably be either 4 to 6 or 6 to 8. It's at where I thought it was originally going to be at before new information got introduced.
And was while we're speaking about legal versus illegal stuff with what Deshaun had done, and then we go back to Terrell Pryor's situation where they suspended him for something he did in college.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
I would look
Which is
back
part
at
of the
that
reason why
now.
you have the process now. Well, that doesn't matter what happened.
That's so
it's over.
dumb.
Trying to compare it to today's environment's a waste of time.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, it is. There's no ifs, ands, buts, candy nuts about it, period. Buck Reising. Hey, that rhymes. Sorry, I could have said ifs, ands, buts, candy nuts, bucks. Pretty close. Buck Reising will be with us after the break. Jay Martin on 104.5 The Zone. J Mart and Ramon. That's the name of the program. On Twitter at J Mart and Ramon. Lifted up by All Four Seasons Garage Doors in Nashville. The website's allfourseasonsgarages.com. Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline. I said in studio. I guess I did not know. Not here, but he's going to be here for his show at the very least.
Nice.
But not early enough to enjoy a few munchkins.
Hey, now.
Actually, I don't know if there are any left. I have no idea.
What's he trying to hit, 225?
Oh, Buck, 220.
Yeah, it was 220?
Yeah.
He ain't hitting 220.
He's stupid.
225.
I got to believe
Buck is on the
man.
line, host of the Buck Reising Show, which is a very original name. Buck, what's up?
There's a lot of condescension in everybody's tone this morning. There's a lot of disrespect that I do not appreciate. It is my day off. It's training camp. I apologize. I'm not at work at the crack of dawn the way that you people are, but I will be there. And I'm happy to be a part of the program this morning. And also, I'm going to make it to 220 by Baltimore so you can sit on it and spin, Shay.
Buck, I was saying I was for you, man. You know I'm riding with you, dog.
Oh, he's going to have to be wearing a sweatsuit and lose all that body weight like
Water
right
weight.
before the weigh-in. Yeah.
Hey,
I'm going to make weight at 187.
I got like 1.6 to go. I got a week. We're great. We're doing great.
Yeah, there we go. See? All right. See, Buck, I'm here for it, dog.
Somebody's got to be.
I know. But we're in training camp mode, Buck, and so are you, okay? And I'm here for that. But what have you seen, man? Yesterday was a young guy's day, and I can't, overemphasize that with the work that was done. What did you get from the young guys? Who really stuck out to you as far as those young guys / not day one starters kind of look for the Titans?
Well, I think that, depending on how this goes in training camp for Roger McCreary, I think he could very, very easily find himself playing some kind of a role in week one, whether it's just in certain defensive packages or if he ends up winning the slot job, because Elijah Molden hasn't practiced since Friday when we were all in the bubble, and I think on Thursday he had previously been dealing with some kind of leg issue that I think reoccurred in a drill, or at least while we were watching it, it looked as if it was kind of something that reoccurred in the middle of the drill, and he hadn't been back out on the practice field since. Roger McCreary's been all over the place, given the fact that all of these drills, most of these drills are skewed against the defensive back specifically. It's already a hard enough position to play. I think the fact that you're noticing this many positive reps from him is a huge win for the Titans early on.
Yeah, that's interesting. His name continues to just pop up just day in and day out as far as work been done as far as Roger McCreary, man. So much so that Shane Bowen, I think, popped up and said he's not a rookie. But have you heard any DC, any OC, any head coach ever say something like that about a young guy?
Oh, hell no, especially not this staff. They don't say positive things about hardly anybody on a regular basis. Like, I think we got Mike Vrabel one time to talk about how well Jonnu Smith's mother raised him after a game against Jacksonville, I think, one time, and then also like a little bit on David Fluellen because Mike was in love with him when he first got here. But other than that, you don't hear coaches talk about players, especially young guys, that way because they're trying to, it's the de-recruitment process, not just at college now, but in the NFL. And you spend so much time gassing these guys up in the pre-draft interviews, and then you get there and you want to make sure, okay, you want to make sure you get the message across. Hey, you're going to earn these reps. This isn't just going to be given to you by nature of it. And that's basically what Rodgers' career was at Auburn. It took him a little while to get on the field. He turned into a starter his junior year, and then by his senior season, he was playing high-level defense against the SEC's best, which typically ends up being the NFL's best. So, when they talk about the tape that they love from him coming out of the SEC, they really do mean it. And it's something that we can see not just if you go throw on the Iron Bowl, Auburn versus Alabama, or whatever game you want to watch of Rodgers' career, but we literally see it in practice every day.
The word for camp, and Jay kind of coined this, man, because we're not trying to jump out there and just say, hey, he's the guy, but the word is encouraging. You've seen a little bit of that from Traylon Burks. You've seen a little bit of that from Kyle Phillips. You've seen a little bit of that from Hassan Haskins, like the young guys that's out there right now. And Rhett brought this up. We're speaking about a lot of young guys, man, and it's encouraging to kind of see the way they've kind of kicked off training camp.
And it's hardly ever like this. Like even this, highly regarded 2019 Titans draft class where they hit on five starters and 6 picks. They didn't have a smooth integration process necessarily. Like AJ showed up out of shape in a similar way that Traylon did. There was a learning curve. Nate Davis missed a bunch of time in camp in his first year, some kind of like heat exhaustion situation, and then he just mysteriously disappeared for the rest of training camp until they threw him out there against Atlanta in week 4 because Jameel Douglas was getting ragdolled. So I think that all the positives that you're hearing right now, it's not just saying it for the sake of saying it. It's saying it because they're actually putting it into practice. Whether it's Chig Okonkwo, who's become a consistent target and really looks nice working the kind of outside zone schemes we were talking to Austin Hooper about yesterday in the run game as well. I think you're seeing a lot of positive progress from the young players on the field, and it's really elevating everybody else around them.
You'll be very critical of Farrah, Buck, when I ask you this question, and I kind of want to hear your response to it. As of right now, are the Titans in a better position because of availability of Chig, of Traylon, of Bobby, of all the wide receivers than they were last year, even with AJ and Julio in the huddle? Are they better now than they were last year?
Yeah, I mean, talent-wise, no, but dependability, I think that you would have to say yes, because you know that they're going to be there day in and day out. Like, really, Molden is the only one who's missed any kind of consequential time. Bud Dupree didn't practice yesterday, and Ben Jones, I think, missed a day somewhere in there at some point over the weekend. But, yeah, I mean, it looks comfortable. It looks clean. It looks smooth right now offensively because it's largely the same guys day in and day out. And it was funny. We asked Tannehill about this, I think on Monday, and he just kind of scoffed and said it's early. And that sounds like somebody who just went through the kind of season with parts and pieces that Ryan Tannehill did. So I don't blame him for being a little jaded. But, yeah, I think that's a fair assessment because Julio you couldn't count on reliability-wise, and AJ really didn't practice too terribly much in the early going because he had that double knee scope coming out of the offseason. So, yeah, I think it's all relative.
Buck, do you think does Tannehill just appear to be a little more comfortable maybe than he did last year because he has a group right now that seems to all be out there, all be working, all be hungry, all be looking for the same goal? Like some of those challenges, there are unique challenges now that are different from the ones last year, but does Tannehill seem any looser? Because you could expect and assume maybe he's tighter just because of the pressure that's on him this season, what happened the way the last year ended. But I have to imagine just having consistency in the guys he's working with might create a different kind of comfort zone.
I can't say that I've noticed really any kind of difference. I mean, it wasn't evident, even though he was like throwing interceptions last year. Like I can't say in training camp that I noticed any kind of inherent strife, for lack of a better term, on the practice field. Just kind of specifically narrowing it down to training camp. But I think it's reasonable to expect him to be a little more at ease because everybody else around him is. Taylor Lewan is going through training camp practices, and he has good energy. He's no longer kind of miserable out there dealing with the day-to-day of what the ACL recovery is going to look like. That energy is palpable. Derrick Henry is out on the field, even if he's not going through team drills right now because they're in full pads and they don't want him taking unnecessary contact. It seems generally like everybody is more comfortable with where they're at physically than they were in the 2021 training camp for a variety of different reasons. So, yeah, I wouldn't blame Tannehill if he's kind of getting a little bit of that, kind of manifesting a little bit of that energy as well.
What are you getting from Malik, man? Just what you've seen. I've seen him move and throw the ball around the pocket a little bit. What have you kind of, witnessed as far as his awareness, his ability to make plays for the team that he's working with, the second team for the most part?
Yeah, I think it's evident that he's learning.
Yeah.
And that was something that Todd Downing spoke to yesterday. He's like, yeah, he's so athletically gifted, but he's learning in these practices that you can't just like out-athlete somebody on the field, because all these dudes are the best athletes from wherever they may be from in any given town across the country. Like you're playing a much more level game. And I think that in some of the mechanical stuff, throwing motion looks a little cleaner, a little more concise, for lack of a better term. I think the footwork is still something that they're kind of working with him on. We talked to him yesterday about marrying his eyes and his feet as a quarterback. You know this if you're a golfer. You know this if you're a point guard or a shooting guard. Like eyes and feet, the marriage of the two is critical for you to be able to have the kind of accuracy in whatever your athletic endeavor is. And that's something that Malik Willis is learning, because he's been able to kind of out muscle, out arm strength, out athlete guys at the level of college football that he was previously playing. So yeah, I think they're quick to correct him after each drill.
Yeah.
And just because it hasn't necessarily looked like, I don't think that he's better than Logan Woodside still, but it doesn't mean that he can't get there. I just think it's on the kind of the kind of track that you might expect from somebody like this.
What do you think of Caleb so far, Buck?
I think he might end up being a better corner than Christian. Christian Fulton, that is, and that's I don't think that's like a crazy opinion.
It ain't. But the only reason I wowed it right there, Buck, is because there's so much behind him getting to that point. The back coming out and the ACL, and then he hardly played, and that's why I'm just like, that's a cool take to have right there, because when you see him, and that's what really shocked me. I don't mean to cut you off, but that's what shocked me. I'm like, God, if he gets to that point, then you're 100% correct. I was just glad that you actually kind of said that.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, the dude he's a pterodactyl out there. He's got a wingspan. He's got a crazy wingspan, and he's longer than any corner that I have seen in a Titans uniform. And I mean, I would have to go back a considerable ways. I don't think that defensive backs are necessarily built like him. He's like a very, very polite Jalen Ramsey in stature, as far as what a prototypical corner might look like. And he's learning a lot. He seems to like, it's always kind of, you always take it with a grain of salt when a coach tells you how well a player's doing in the meeting room, because of course you have no concept of how they're actually doing in the meeting room, and the coach wouldn't tell you otherwise in a public setting if they were being a dope. But like, he seems to legitimately have learned the nuances and technique that they've been preaching to him for the last year. And I think it helps expedite the process that Robert Woods has had so much time off to the side with Farley individually to kind of show him how a veteran wide receiver at this level is going to attack him, and how he can kind of combat that in as close to live reps as we have right now. I'd be curious to see if he ends up playing in the preseason. But yeah, I mean, I don't see any back issues. I don't see any ACL issues. The guy looks fine to me.
As far as you want to,
no, you're good.
As far as what we're talking about with this team, man, we're speaking of a lot of youthful guys, and in that comes mistakes and just the idea that they don't know everything that they don't know, at least offensively in at certain spots. Is this team more prime, Buck, for down the line than it is in the current state that it is?
So I guess you're talking about, like, I guess I'd ask you to narrow that down a little.
Do you mean because they're so young?
They're so young to where
future being brighter than the present.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Future being brighter than the present.
Yeah, I think that's a. I kind of see. I understand the question.
Yeah.
But with athletes so often, I think people kind of get caught up in the idea that they should automatically progress in a substantial way year over year. And that doesn't always happen. So I don't want to be unfair and say, yes, of course, because they're young, because they've clearly got talent, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, that there's no reason why they can't end up being, whatever, the best defense in football, whatever, however far you want to take it. But I think that they're a promising group. I think that I don't feel nearly as bad about their defensive back depth chart as I did, given the kind of youth there and the fact that they didn't really replace Buster Screen with anybody of note. I think that shows what kind of confidence the coaching staff has in the talent that they have right now. And I think that, yeah, as they progress through the course of the season, they're going to have a lot of really good quarterbacks to kind of show them up a little bit. How they adapt to that is going to be a major question. So yeah, but I mean, I understand how you're kind of going to a conclusion like that.
Buck, how awesome is Mason Kinsey?
Why is everybody doing this to me? What did I do?
It was summoned. It was summoned.
I don't understand. Like, I feel so bad. I don't want to go at Mason Kinsey like this. Like, you guys are provoking me in ways that are unpleasant.
What are you talking about provoking? I said, how awesome is Mason Kinsey? How am I provoking you?
I think it's awesome that a D3 wide receiver can last heading into year 3 in the league. How about that? I think that in and of itself is awesome.
Bless your heart.
You didn't answer anything, Buck.
Bless your heart. I think Jason just did it for me.
Over the next 24 hours, Buck, your thoughts. We asked Rhett on the way out. We'll ask you too. NFL going to appeal Deshaun or no?
God, I think they have to. You can't just send that big of a bleep you to every female football fan in the sport. I understand why they wouldn't. I think it'd be a really, really easy spot for Raja to just be like, okay, we can't really railroad the woman who we collectively bargained to put in this position because I've been railroading NFL athletes and franchises for so long as the law and order commissioner, for lack of a better term. But I would have to say that you cannot send that kind of messaging, even if it's just a slight increase in the punishment. Because the optics alone of the Calvin Ridley suspension and all these different things that have happened in the NFL that they have mismanaged to this point, this is not the appropriate place for them to kind of take a step back when they appeared to want to try and take at least the optically moral high ground.
I mean, amen. I hope you're right, Buck. I'm kind of 50-50. I'm hoping that you're right, but I'm trying not to be super cynical about it, but this whole situation has always read kind of cynically.
I see him not doing anything, Buck.
Well, and listen, I mean, I think there is a path for that because at the end of the day, the business is about making money, and what benefits everybody the most financially is to have Deshaun Watson out there at Baltimore in Week 7, having only missed one divisional round game. Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, let's put it on Fox and let's blow it up for our television partners. Like, people are going to watch because I think that the NFL will do what they think the most amount of people care about. And if the most amount of people don't care about what happens to Deshaun Watson, they just want to figure out when they can put him on their fantasy roster, then the NFL will go. I mean, it's, you laugh and it stinks, but I
laugh because it's the truth.
Sports. I don't look to professional sports for morality. I stopped that a long time ago, and I think a lot of people would be served well to learn that lesson. But at least you can hope that somebody will do something right every once in a while.
Like I said, I don't think fans are being honest when they say they're not going to watch. Not enough of them to make any kind of a difference. And one thing that's vastly overrated in the country, Buck, and you can look at this historically, sponsor boycotts do not work. Almost ever. Yeah. Like they can be loud on social media, but they barely make a drop in the bucket. So I don't think that's going to be the cause of this. I just hope they do the right thing here, and I think the right thing is going for more.
Yeah, I would be inclined to agree with you. For it not even to be a half a season, when in the summary by Sue L. Robinson, she's citing unprecedented and predatory behavior.
Yes.
Like that's something that everybody found, and that was with 5 of a possible 66 cases of this situation that Deshaun Watson ultimately had encounters with, and the biggest punishment here is a lack of game checks that the Browns have already accounted for in the structure of the contract, and the fact that he is limited to only the Cleveland Browns massage therapy staff, who, by the way, if I was them, I would ask for a considerable raise.
So on the way out real fast, Buck, I'm not asking this in a condescending tone, but why are we listening to the Buck Reising show today? What's coming up?
No, it's a great question. We're going to talk about what they need to do on third down as far as their offense is concerned. We got some really good Greg Cosell analysis. We're going to be diving into this corner position a little deeper. I've got some notes from practice to kind of back up my position on Caleb Farley and Christian Fulton. So it's going to be and we got ball stuff. Balls are on the practice field, Ramon. People are excited. So we're going to spend a little time on what's happening in East Tennessee.
So are you coming into the building in the next 20 minutes?
Well, I've got 16 right now as I look at my
That's why I'm giving you a buffer of 4 extra minutes to where Lucas can start the show, and then you come in a little after 10.
Yeah, I think I got time. I mean, the cats are just enjoying the sun right now. I'll be there.
You're still at the house?
Yeah, I live around the block. Relax.
I love it.
He lives only like 2 miles away.
Okay. It is 15 minutes before the top of the hour. I was letting you know.
Buy me a place.
Put the
down here
frisky,
so I can
put
be
the
like
friskies and some temptation
Why don't we
treats
just
down and
drag
get
this
out of
interview
there.
on then and
Let's
see?
keep it going.
He's going to have to make a business decision.
I want to see how late I can make him. All right, Buck. We'll see you in a couple minutes, brother.
Goodbye, friend.
Yeah.
See you, Buck.
It's Buck Reising.
I like messing with Buck.
You'll hear from him at the top of the hour should you choose to do
Maybe
so.
if he's here.
He'll give you the latest on Mason Kinsey just wowing him.
Man, really looking forward to the Lucas Manzica show.
We'll come back. We'll finish up. We got a message from Mickey Johnson. We increasingly need it. It's J Mart and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. Welcome back. J. Mart and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. We'll do it all again tomorrow. Coach Mack, as usual on Thursday. More observations. Of course, no training camp today.
Yeah.
That was Eminem. He's got his album coming out Friday, I believe.
He got another one coming out?
I believe it's Friday.
Man, I remember when album releases used to be like big announcements.
A lot of times now they just get dropped as surprises is now the new long-term announcement.
Oh, man.
I used to know, like, I knew Pearl Jam's new album was coming out. I knew In Utero from Nirvana was coming out like 3.5 months before it came out. The artwork would be released a few weeks before. You'd start seeing posters and Camelot Music and Record Town and all that kind of stuff. I miss a lot of things like that. Anticipation is something we've lost.
Movies, too.
Yes, that's true. I mean, you still get a lot of trailers and stuff like that.
Well, I even used to look forward to the DVD releases on Tuesday.
Absolutely.
Like,
Tuesday used to be music and DVD. I used to spend way too much money on
Did
TV.
you?
No, you have no idea. It was a problem.
Yeah.
I didn't have an NFL salary to do it, and I was still doing it.
I'm even speaking about in college.
Yeah.
I was spending money I did not have.
Right. Me too.
You know.
But I got to get this Matrix.
Oh, my gosh. Or this $25 CD, like combo CD.
So here's your message. Here's your motivational way to send us on the busy Yankee Johnson. Sent us another clip today on this Wednesday. Enjoy it. Buck Reising's coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow.
Competitive spirit, right? Competitive stamina. How long can you compete and how long are you willing to compete? Anybody can show up and compete when they know they're going to get a certain result. But can you compete in the face of opposition? Can you compete when you don't get what you want? Can you compete when they don't tell you what you want to hear? Can you compete when it doesn't play in your favor? Competitive stamina, competitive spirit. How long can you compete and how long are you willing to compete? Write this down, transcending why. It's a lot to be said about why. Right? Why do you do what you do? But does your why transcend situation, circumstance, people, and opposition? Write this down. Mental agility. It's not the strongest of species that survives. It's not even the most intelligent or talented. It's the one that's most willing to adapt to change. Mental agility. Showing up every single day with a sound mind and sound spirit to get better in every aspect of our lives and everything we touch.